What's good, everybody? Back again with another podcast episode. We got two dope guests coming in today. Legendary and certified, get passed around a lot, but these your OGs right here. So I'm gonna let them introduce themselves, and then we can get to it.
Okay, well, yeah. Thank you for having us, man. It's been a long time coming. I know we talked about doing this before, and I'm glad we were able to finally, get everything lined up, schedules in order, you dig, and all that. So, my name is Steve Hollywood, Steve De Niro. When I'm in Little Village, Esteban Lustre, you dig. So, Chicago finest. I don't know, man. I can go on and on, but I just think, Steve will suffice, because I'm amongst company, you dig. So, Steve. And I invited one of my oldest homeboys on the podcast. We go back, and we're going to get into that. But I would like for him to, say a few words as well.
Okay, well, basically I was born on the East Coast, raised on the West Coast, spent some time in the dirty South. Now I'm in the Midwest. So I believe in hard work, man. And my name is just Takey. That's just, anybody can call me Takey. And like I said, man, I've been around and I got a lot to talk about. So I'm ready.
All right.
Okay.
Music in my blood.
Got you. All right, so hop right into this first question. Is destiny written, or do you write it? And how do you feel about that based on your own life experiences?
Well, I feel like destiny is written, and I think it would be unfair to send a mere mortal down and have them try to figure out what they're supposed to be doing. Mm. So that's why I think we get hints along the way. That thing they call intuition. Hey, I'm going over Debbie crib tonight. I think I should bring a rubber tonight. Or I probably shouldn't stop and get a 40 ounce at this liquor store because all the niggas is hanging out in front of it. I should probably go down to Whole Food and get a macchiato or something.
Right,
so I think it is, but I think we get clues along the way. Because again, I think it would be almost unfair for us to be able to figure out what we're supposed to be doing. Now, it was written, but I think we can make certain edits. You dig? I think we can edit, as long as it's in accordance with the master plan that's been laid out for each and every one of us.
Gotcha.
And I believe that we are predestined as far as the certain decisions that we make. It does affect what we're going to do, who we're going to be, but at the same time, whatever your higher power is, it just kind of lets you know, that, this is what's supposed to happen, because you could have went left, but you went right. It was predestined for you to go right, but it was our choice because we have free will. So destiny, I believe it's like intertwined with, fate, what I mean? Like, this is what you were supposed to do, and if you weren't supposed to do it, you wouldn't have done it, you know what I mean? And so that's why I don't believe in, like, wasted time. I used to, like, man, I wasted my time when I did, but now it's just like, and what for a long time, it's just like, no, you know what? That wasn't wasted time. You learned something, didn't you? You know not to do that again, right? That was your destiny to learn that lesson that way.
Gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. And there was a second part to that question, wasn't it, brother?
Yeah, it was just how do you feel, about that question based on your own life experiences.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think I answered that.
Yeah.
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 So I got a question for both of you all.
So,
Who's your favorite rap group and why?
oh wow. Just one?
Do you
Hey.
think? Well, if you could narrow it down to
Top 3, top 5?
top
Top
five.
3, top 5? Top 5. Okay, cool.
Have to be groups.
Man. Yeah.
Groups, solo,
Okay.
whatever.
Man, groups. Gotta do EPMD, NWA, definitely. What else was right there? A group.
It could be a
Shoot,
solo.
that's my two.
It could be
Huh?
solo. It could be solo too. I mean, you know.
Oh no, solo. No, man, solo's gonna be harder. You know, as far as rap
Okay.
groups. You know, like, I mean, because I'm trying to think like who had the best, you know, lyricism. Because I put EPMD there because, you know, they were, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, you know, just and then, you know, what I mean, they just made sense. You know what I mean? And you didn't even know that at that time that Eric Sermon was the one doing the beats and Pete was doing the business, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You just the first time you heard what you saying, it's just like whoa, you know. So yeah, that group for me. Straight up, that group for me. So what's your group?
Man, my favorite all-time group is Run DMC.
Really?
And I say Run DMC because the way I pick them is how they affected me, how they affected the culture, their contributions to the culture. Because if it weren't for Run DMC and Jay, nigga, we still be wearing headdresses and leather strap belts, studs and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So they kind of graduated us from that.
They did.
You know what I'm saying? They paradigm shift in the culture.
Exactly.
And, and it didn't hurt that the music was good.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So,
Oh, yeah.
And then my second favorite group, EPMD, and I got a quick little story about that. I'm sure you heard it. I pick up EPMD from the airport. Eric wasn't with him. It was just Scratch and the P. And I'm like, man, you know, I'm speechless, man. I'm with my second favorite rap group of all time. And they looked at me like, second favorite? I'm like, I said Run DMC. They were like, oh, okay. They were like, okay. So yeah. What about you, Ade?
Top 5 would have to. I start with Ice Cube, Tribe Called Quest, Common is up there,
Okay.
Outkast, and probably Wu-Tang Clan for me.
Okay.
Man, yeah.
Yeah, those are some solid picks right there, you know?
Man, I'm telling you. And then, and I forgot, well, I mentioned NWA the first time, you know, I named 2, but man, my man, O'Day, A Tribe Called Quest, man, that one right there, that group, I mean, it just changed, you know what I mean? Like, it just pivoted a little bit. They were still a little, you know, they were still street, but, you know, more backpackish, you know what I mean? That's where I kind of understood backpackers, you know what I mean? They took it back there, you know what I mean? So, yeah. And Wu-Tang, man, I didn't really know all of their names until they had been out for a minute, you know? Because that's the first time you saw a group with 9 niggas in there, man. Like what? Huh?
Yeah.
Who? And, you know, and this one's, Meth is getting most of the verses, you know, but then you got Deck, you know, you got Quan the Chef, and Ghost, man, like, Ghostface Killah, even he just separated himself from them. I mean, they all 9 different niggas had 9 different styles. That shit was crazy. You know what I mean? So
yeah. I think when I heard, I think I really got with them. Only Built for Cuban Links. That album. And I'm gonna tell you, on that day, I bought 2 albums. I bought Only Built for Cuban Links, and I bought Bone Thugs and Harmony, East 1999, Eternal. 2 of the best albums I've ever heard.
Okay.
So DJ Unique produced Bones album.
Okay.
And it had a sound that I hadn't heard before.
Okay.
You know, yeah, it was just, you know, their flow was like, you know, yeah, okay, you know, dope, but Twister, you dig, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You heard, but the production though, that's what really caught my attention, man.
Yeah. That's always. I'm sorry. Go ahead, brother.
You know, on that day, that was one of the historic purchase days for me.
Okay.
Yeah, I never forget that day when I went back to the crib and you know, rolled up and just kind of huddled up and rolled up and just
Yes, sir.
yeah.
Man. I always I wouldn't get music on the day, but it's like when I heard it, you know, I had, you know, like to hear a buzz or something, you know, and just, you know, when I'm supposed to hear it, like Destiny, I'm gonna hear it. You know what I mean? Right. And because even when Busta was with Leaders of the No School, you know what I mean? And I just remember it's like, you know, and I, you know, saw Charlie and, you know, Rocco or Dodo or whatever his name was, but I'm
Dinko D.
Dinko D. Thank you. Help me, brother. But anyway, Busta, he just stood out. You know what I mean? Like he just had his own little, you know, Busta. You know what I mean? And that right there, man, I was just like, this dude. And so when he got solo, this is where I'm going with this. Man, I remember like I was going through whatever life, you know, and man, the first time I heard the introduction, man, to his first album. I mean, he just took you on a trip. You know what I mean? Then he got into some hardcore stuff, and you know. So I'm just saying, man. Like when you see guys like that, man, you know, you start out as a group, which that was a good question. You know, what are your favorite groups? Because you know, groups and artists, they're just, you know. This artist made the group, you know what I mean? But the group had its, you know, contribution, but you know what I'm saying? One just stood out, and that became the artist. But together as a group, you know.
Yeah. I don't think you can use the Mike Jackson 5 thing because he just, because like with Leaders, I think they did have a contribution. Fuck it, you can't say Mike and the Jackson 5 because really now that I think about it, you know, really, like, I mean, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mike and the Silvers versus the Jacksons, or, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Because that's why Jermaine, you know, was really the first star of the Jackson 5 because, you know, he was married to Barry's, you know, daughter. So that's why he was out first. Jermaine was like, all right, you know, because he knew, everybody knew Michael was going to be the one. You know what I mean? And that's why, you know, the rest of them kind of, you know, fading. Here come Michael. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Michael, like, go ahead, nigga, go ahead. Just, I'm in the studio. This time next summer, you know what I'm saying? You'll be carrying my luggage, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly. And he was living in the same house too with them. And he was about to blow that because they stayed in that house in Encino for, man, decades, you know? Yeah. So I mean, he was in the same house before he became Michael, you know what I mean? Like he was in the same house with him. Just, you know.
Take the garbage out, nigga. Take the garbage out.
Exactly.
Tie that monkey up. He running around, fucking around with in the garage.
Exactly. And even when you think about it, man, like it was the perfect time for Mike to break, man. Because, you know, like everybody remember him as that little kid and you know, when Thriller broke, it was a wrap. I mean, in the 80s too? Come on, man. Like, they groomed that perfectly. They groomed his career perfectly.
So let me say this, though. The album before Thriller.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely.
To me, that was his introduction. Like,
yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely. Because Q was on both of them. Q was, you know, Q gonna make sure of it. You know what I mean? So, yeah, you're right. The one before that, Off the Wall. Yeah, that introduced him. Yeah.
He was still like Bell Pepper knows Mike, but you could see what they was doing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Get this nigga under Dr. Kevorkian and go on get their nose cut off and chopped off and get his wig right.
That's real shit. That's real shit, man.
Yeah,
That's
man.
real. Yeah, because when Off the Wall came out, man, it was, you know, it was a little bell pepper. You know what I mean? Like, they kind of, and then Thriller's like, nothing, got to go, bah!
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but,
Yeah.
man, nevertheless, the music, man, Q did his thing, dog. Remember, man, like at every award show, I mean, they was winning everything. They was cleaning them out. You know what I mean? Because that album, it hit at the right time. But like you said, the introduction was, you know, Off the Wall.
Yeah.
And even Stevie, man, I didn't know for a long time, Steve, that that song, I Can't Help It. If I wanted to, I wouldn't help it. I didn't know Stevie wrote that, man.
I didn't either.
Oh, okay. Well, we both. I mean, I found out, man, maybe like 2 years ago, man. I was like, because I just started looking at credits, you know, because I always looked at credits, producer credits and all that stuff. But a couple of, you know, years ago, I was just like, who made this song? Stevie Wonder. And then I started listening to it. Oh, my God, that is Stevie. You know, that you know, just the production of it. And, man, that was one, that's like in my top 25 songs, man. Easy.
Okay.
And so, yeah, that album. And then even Off the Wall, the single. I mean, you know, it broke. Go ahead.
Now, were those albums on Motown or Epic? Do you remember? Because I think he left Motown when he did Off the Wall.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. Yeah, I think that was an Epic. Yeah.
Okay.
That's the thing with the Epic. Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
he was done. Yeah. Yeah. But Barry, man, he had a well-oiled machine, man. You got to give it to him, brother. Barry Gordy, he had a well-oiled machine, man.
I was looking at something. Smokey Robinson, I think they were saying he's one of the greatest songwriters.
Mm-hmm.
Or he's in consideration to be one of the greatest of all time.
Yeah. 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 Because, man, Smokey was smoking, man. And that brother, he just, it's just in him, man. Like, it's like his thoughts, he's able to put up on paper, man. And they're hits. And he's been doing this for decades, man. Because Smokey's what, like, between 70, 75, somewhere there, 80? He's up there. But
And he still looks 50. I don't know if you've seen him.
Doesn't he?
He still looks 50.
He does, man. I'm just like, wow.
But he looked like if you say a really funny joke and he laughed, his face will crack. He kind of got that, you know what I'm saying? Botox milk face type thing.
It looks like he can't make too many expressions at the same time. You know, he got to keep like.
Right. He can't lift his eyes up and open his mouth at the same time.
Right,
His nose is falling.
Exactly. He got to go up together. I'm sorry. Okay.
Nah, but much love to Tight Face Smokey, though. You know, he definitely, man, all-time Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
I was listening to some of the Miracle stuff last Sunday, I think. And you kind of just, when you forget how many songs a person or a group has, I think that's indicative of their greatness. Hold on, I think I just lost. I mean, it's cool. So, yeah.
It's just
definitely.
Yeah. Okay. So, O'Day, that's your name?
Ide.
Ide, I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Right. Did you have another question? Because me and your father can go all night, man. So,
so you know, I got something right here, real quick.
What's up,
Amos? You break it down our situation, how it even came, you know, from memory.
Okay.
Because you know, certain things I can remember, like when we talk, we kind of go back, and then you would throw something at me, and then and then that make me think of something.
Yeah.
So what would you say our first interaction was with music?
Oh, with music. Okay. Our first interaction with music was...
Or period. Or, you know, period.
Yeah. No, I got you. Well, I think the first time I knew that you were into music, it was like because, I don't know, you just seemed to... I forget, maybe it was Rodney that you was around, but it was around the office where you was bobbing your head to something, and you know, you seem kind of like straight laced to me. You know, you didn't seem like you. You know what I mean? Like you really are. You know what I'm saying? But
they call that code switching now.
I know, right? I know. I just found that out, man, last year. I just found that out. But anyway, yeah, so my first interaction with you musically, man, I invited you over to the crib, and, you know, I knew you lived, like, in the hundreds, and, you know, I was in Madison. So anyway, you know, you just came over, and I played for you, you know, what I had, and, you know, my setup wasn't, you know, it was in the starter kit stage. And I just remember we just talked about music, man. And I didn't know you was that deep with it, man. You know what I mean? And I don't know if you even thought about maybe if I was deep into it like that, but it was like that was our connection. Man. And then, you know, like sonically, it's like we heard, you know, like the same shit. You know what I mean? We can cuss here, right?
Yeah,
well, yeah, of course, yeah. Right? Yeah, okay. So, just, you know, just the way we used to collaborate, man, you know, because it's like I'll have a raw template, you know, and then you'll be like, that's cool, but, you know, no, you'd be like, that's cool, but, you know, once you break it right there, you know, or something, you know what I mean? Like, it was constructive, you know, it wasn't like, that ain't shit, you know, and this is funny. I could tell when you wasn't feeling the beat, because, you know, if you was feeling it, you know, you always cool, man. So you just, you know, if it's just all right, but if it's really all right, you be like, you know, like years, and then like, you know, if it's just all right, it's just like, all right. next, you know. So musically, man, I just remember like, even like, you just always were into music, like the like music scene, you know what I mean? Like I was just like that mad hatter or that mad scientist in the lab, you know, where you were out doing it, networking, connecting. I mean, man, some things you used to tell me, I used to be like, what, huh? You know, but then I got a taste when you took me to that club, you know? Yeah, man. I was just like, whoa, because I mean, you just rolled up in there, dog. Like it reminded me of Goodfellas, man. When you just, you know, like I remember people standing outside, dog, and we just walked in, like, yo, okay, my man. And when we got up in there, it was just like, look, I was still wet behind the ears, and the breath smelling like Similac, you know, and. Just, yeah. I mean, like, I was green, man. So, I mean, you put me up on, you know, a lot, man, musically. And it's like, and the guest tonight, you know, the musical guest will be Kendrick and the Family Soul. I'm looking like, oh, okay, they're going to play their record. No, nigga, they performing here. What the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, nigga, I was like, huh? Okay. But look, I didn't act brand new. Because I talk, you know, out of my thoughts. So that's what I was thinking. But I played it cool, you know what I mean? I was like, okay, all right. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Oh, it's DJ Armstrong. God damn, okay. Well, what the fuck? Like, dog,
So,
I'll never...
No, go ahead. I don't want to break your thought. I got one, though.
I'll never forget that night, man. I mean, because it was like, I thought it was just going to be like two guys, you know, you and I, you know, maybe collaborating on, you know, something musically and, you know, getting on some sort of way. But I didn't know you had already had your foot in the game, man. So I was just, but you know what? What I love about that is that, you know, like, I don't want anybody, man, to ever think that I'm, you know, fucking with them because, you know, what they got or who they know. But our connection, our friendship, to me, you know, our acquaintanceship, our association has always been about music. But, man, what I find just like godly, you know, like destined, is that, man, we worked in the same office, turned up in the same office, you know what I mean? Without, you know what I mean, like going too far with that. I mean, like we really were young together, man. Like we came up and it was like, we both had our own lane, man, and we never did like bump into each other's lane. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, oh, there's Steve, oh, there's Amos, but we just, we were doing our thing,
Yeah.
But, so we always knew each other, in that, like that. But musically, that's where we connected to me, man. You know what I'm saying? That's where God just brought us together. You know what I mean? So.
And I remember I was walking down the hall. I think I was coming out of Mary Maldonado's office. And I'm coming around the corner, and I see you coming, and you like, hey, brother, I don't know what you're doing for lunch, but if you like to have Bible study, we can have Bible study. I'm like, what the fuck? We finna go drinking for lunch. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So that let's say that's 92.
Yeah.
95, we link back up, and it's a whole different cat. You know what I'm saying? It was like a whole different thing, man. Same dude.
Same dude, man.
Just a different presentation this time.
Hey, man. I'm not impulsive, man. But I just like, things being done a certain way. You know what I mean? So that's what, kind of makes me an introvert. But I like being around people. God made us to be communal, but. It's just like with you and I, man, it was just like, there's something different about this cat. You know what I mean? Because, Rod, he out the gate. Rod's out the gate. You can see Rod coming. He's like a Rottweiler. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's smart as hell, so he's a smart Rottweiler. He's a Rottweiler with a pedigree, but nevertheless, you see him coming. With you, like I said, I was just impressed by your acumen when it came to music. Because you talked about music, man, like you were music, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to be an artist. You don't have to be a producer. But if you know music, man, you just know music, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's what I found real about you, man. Like, you just know music, dude. So,
Yeah. Even today, like, for an example, we're watching a movie. My wife and I watching a movie. Mm-hmm. And a song play.
Mm-hmm.
Or better yet, we're on the back porch and my neighbor comes around from the front to the back playing a song.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, that's so-and-so, so-and-so. She's like, no, it's not. I said, no, yeah, that's let's say David Bowie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No, it's not. I think it's John Cougar Mellencamp. I said, no. I pull out the old Shazam on her, like I told you. Ooh, and even me and April, we'll be sitting up looking at a movie and a song. You know how like those dramatic scenes and the song will start playing.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's so and so. That's this person. That's that person. Yeah. So I still listen and I hear. Really I remember.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I'll tell you, man, I think my Achilles heel is the new music. I don't really, I mean, I know what I hear people talking about.
Yeah.
But I think in the era we grew up, you got 4 albums released.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like 4 major releases.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now you got niggas releasing albums just whenever they feel like it. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of hard to really keep up with really what's happening. And I talked to my son about a lot of it because I just don't know. I really don't know. I mean, I was always a Kendrick fan, but I think Ade really made me more of a fan because how much he enjoyed it. So he made me, his interest in it piqued my interest in it. Okay. And then when I was involved into listening to it, I kind of expanded it to the whole TDE group, to all, Schoolboy, J-Rock. And then I started doing my research, like about Top Dog and, his backstory. So, but before, years ago, I would do that all the time. Like I was talking about Suge Knight, because I put in that research on him, like, okay, when I first came or thought about music, like I said, I knew I couldn't sing and dance. I can't break dance. I can't do none of this shit, right? So it's like, where do I fit in? I mean, yeah, I'm a consumer, I'm a participant, but I want to be a part of the show of it too.
Right.
And
Right.
I remember when Puffy was at Howard, they were talking about him promoting parties.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm like, okay. So that's, maybe that, So then I got into to party. I didn't promote them. I facilitate them. I would hire promoters. I would just make sure everything is set up, paid for, and then I get promoters to get the people into the spot. And the funny story with Rod is the first party I ever threw was in Hyde Park at a spot called the Blue Gargoyle. It's in the University of Chicago campus.
Okay.
And me and Rod was gonna go.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I was gonna go anyway. So Rod said he was gonna go, and so we ended up stopping by the liquor store. We got a couple 40s, a Crazy Horse, mall liquor.
Yeah.
And so it was like 5 o'clock, and the party started at 7.
Mm-hmm.
So we went back to my crib. So we drinking the 40 ounces, and smoking a little bit, whatever. And then next thing I know, it's 10:30.
Mm-hmm.
It's my own motherfucking party. So I fall asleep. Rod goes to the crib. I fall asleep, and my brother come in about midnight, between midnight 1:30 shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm laying down. He just dropped a bag of money on the floor. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, okay, this is what we did. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, is everybody paid? He was like, nigga, this is it. This the take. You know what I'm saying? And it was probably about $3,500 in there. So then I knew, okay, this is real. I can do this.
Okay.
And then it just kind of turned into, from doing the parties, that turned into wanting to create or make records, make music. And I think the natural progression was people, the home studio. That's where you started. You go to your man's basement, you lay the vocals, do this, you do.
Yeah.
Then you graduate, going to the studio, to do. What I learned was, we're not gonna make the beat in the studio, nigga. Make the beat at the crib.
Come on, man.
Bring your shit to the studio. Plug in. We're gonna plug in. All we gonna do is lay vocals and mix.
There it is.
So I got to, I figured that out because you be up in there all night, niggas trying to, come up with your music.
No. And when you get to the studio, like you said, you just track it up, man. Y'all should already know what you want. You already know what we got. Let's get it done.
Yep.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I'm sorry.
No,
I just got passionate about that one too.
Good call out. But and I don't know, man. I can just remember then from that point wanting to learn how to sell records. Wanting to, and that's where I lost it at. That's where I couldn't find somebody to line up with me that wanted to do that, because everybody at that time was so interested in getting signed. I want, man, and I think what it was the allure of that advance. You dig?
Right.
And that advance, man, we get a 500,000. We good. Yeah. And like our day opened it up with being, is it predestined?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or do we make the rules, or do we create our own path? And niggas don't know that the advance is just a high interest loan.
Thank you.
High interest loan. You know what I'm saying? That most people never recoup and end up. Would you like cheese on that? Would you like a milkshake with that? Would you like a large fry with that? I mean, they get so in debt to the label that it just don't make sense for the label to fuck with you no more. We gave you $500,000 for you to go do what you want to do. We pay for your studio time, marketing, promotion, wardrobe. So now not only do you owe us the $500, we got another $300 that we done pumped into this. So now you owe us $800, and you only sold 6,000 records. I'm not a mathematician, but I don't think that should add up, right? So,
But
yeah.
then,
No, go ahead.
no. But what they do though is that they take it from the other artists that are selling millions of records, you know, because they getting, you know, what, 50 cents, 75 cents, you know. I think what back in the day, Madonna and Michael Jackson, they was getting $1 each, you know what I mean? And they're Michael Jackson and Madonna, so they don't pay these artists nothing, man. So this artist over here not selling because they left developing an artist a long time ago. They left that. That's a dead model now. You know what I mean? Yeah. But they want you to already have it together. That's how Dame and them got in because they already had, you know, that's how Cash Money got in. That's how, you know, P, you know, got in. But I'm sorry. I didn't mean to go off on no rant, but man.
No, that's what she did.
But you're right, though. Like, man, for a long time, the music industry has, you know, they had a good run. They had a very good run, dog. You know what I mean? But now, you know, I'm thankful for streaming where artists are able to get some of their money back, man. You know, because, I mean, you're right. Videos, you know, because that's why they give them a budget, depending on the artist. So out of this, you're supposed to take this out, you know. But they think that advance is just like, oh, you giving me this a signing bonus? No, you're going to pay that back too.
You owe us that. Yeah.
So, man. But like you said, and you know what, and I like when you said that, man, like, back then, you know, that era of when artists and groups were going, you know, like whoever wanted to sign and they got an advance, oh, they were in. You know what I mean? Yeah. They got raped and pillaged, man. You know what I mean?
No, yeah, and like you said, and the label would do some shit, like you said, take it from, what was the record? No, it was a movie, Cadillac Records, man.
Yeah, oh, man. Yep.
And when Muddy was fucked up in the game at this point, yeah, he was like, and he was talking to Chess like, man, you know, you got that new Cadillac outside. You got, he was like, I think it was Howlin' Wolf or somebody. He was like, he paid for all that shit.
Yeah.
Because he was hot. So like you said, they will take money from other artists, which is fucked up.
Yeah,
that's fucked up. You know what I mean? Like, you know, you circumvent cash or cipher cash from this cat to fund this, and almost like a Ponzi scheme.
Yeah, because the profits have to stay at the top. Yeah. Profits got to stay. So if this person's losing, this person's winning, we gonna take from this, and you know. And what I like about Howlin' Wolf, man, in that movie was like, you know, when Adrian Brody's character tried to give him an advance, like, he's like, nah, I don't, you know, we ain't finna do that. You know what I mean?
He said, just pay me what you owe me. That's all he said.
Yeah. I don't take nothing from the house. Nope. I'm gonna earn my keep. So
and then I think, and then Mud was driving the caddy, and he had like a jalopy truck.
Right.
And then and then Mud was like, yeah, I'm sure you don't get a lot of women in that. He was like, but I own it. And I mean, you know, it was a lot of, it was, and then you, nigga, so that's back, what, in the 50s?
50s, in the 50s,
and you look now, Suge Knight giving niggas cars that don't belong to him.
Yeah. Leasing apartments and condos and stuff. Yeah.
It's like they learned the blueprint never changed. The shit stayed the same.
Never. No.
On the wide scale. But then like cats like P, you hear stories about him how he encouraged his guys as far as ownership.
Yeah. Yeah, he did.
You need a house, you need a car, you need 2 pistols, you know what I'm saying? All this is your shit.
Yeah.
This is your shit. Yeah. But I think the paradigm is still in play. There's a slight shift, but the bigger picture is still the old model.
Mm-hmm.
Even with streaming, I'm hearing that these guys are getting robbed. I mean, they're getting money, but not compared to what they should be getting. They still getting fucked.
Hey man, if it ain't broke, they ain't gonna fix it. You know what I mean? It's not really broke. They just find different ways of putting music out there, and so you know they find better ways of taxing it. You know, it's just like when you have an alarm system. You know, it's like the person that designed, okay, this is going to keep out this person, that person, but it's going to keep the person that designed it out, you know?
Right.
So then they got, you know, it's like a back and forth, you know what I mean? But music, man, I'm at least glad to know that the artists now, they have more skin in the game. They're not just out there, you know, being tired from performing. Like, they're performing because they want to perform, and their merch, you know, they get a certain percentage off of that, you know. And I'm not talking about the ones in 360 deals. I'm talking about the ones that realize, you know, that label shit, you know, that's not where it's at. You know, like, you just have to get out there and, you know, and it's even better than being an indie, because back in the day, you know, you had to find a distributor. You had to have a lot of moving parts. Now, man, everything is online, you know. So if you got, you know, some shit on the street, you know, and got some shit online, then you good, man. But I'm glad to see the artists getting paid, man, for real, because a lot of artists got jacked, man, and a lot of producers too, man. A lot of producers got jacked, man. Daz Dillinger, man. Death Row, man, like, dude, he had to wait, 15 years to get 15 mil, man.
Yeah, I remember that.
He was owed that, man. Now, how Suge gonna shake his own, you know, in-house producer down, man? But, hey, Suge was doing Suge, man.
Hey,
and speaking of that, yeah.
Manny Fresh got robbed.
Exactly, yep. Man, Birdman, it's like, come on, dog. Now, I understand, okay, and we gonna, just a little bit, I can understand somebody coming from the outside, having their mentality, not my mentality, because to me, whatever price we negotiated, and you know what, matter of fact, let's go back there just for a minute. I mean, like you said, man, creating a beat in the studio, you know, the artist is, you know, has to be the artist. You know, and that's why they bring in a producer, you know what I mean? Because they have an idea, but, you know, their creative juices get flowing, you know, as a singer or a rapper, you know, or a pop artist. Like, when you play them, I have, like, snippets. I usually play, like, a minute and a half, you know, just to show them, like, this could be the hook, this could be the bridge. And I have, like, easily about 20 beats. Now, out of those 20 beats, you're going to find at least a few that you like. And then when we get to the studio, let's rock. You know what I mean? It should be no, like, you know what I mean? And I can move this over here, move that, but this is the beat. This is the chorus. This is, you know, as far as sonically, musically. So the artist, you know, and then even writing, you know what I mean? Like, if I can see their rough draft and I can, you know, just... So, you're right, Steve. There's no way, well... I can understand the vibe in the studio, because it was a good vibe, man. But if I have time, well, you said we're going to flow. So I remember the first time I did go to the studio with you, man, like a studio, because like you said, you got to graduate, you know. So, you know, we were at my crib, you know, my wife, you know, just had a baby and everything. And then when we went to the studio, I remember, like you said, Keywan, yeah, he just had his, you know, his joint, man, and he just, pow, you know, pat, just plugged this shit in and pow, you know what I mean? Like, he just hit it, you know, and you just, you know, of course you got the board, but I remember, I don't know, man, I just remember, like, the artists at that time, you know, I'm not naming names, but I just remember it seemed like the process took a little bit too long, you know what I mean? Because he was a little bit particular, and I understand every artist is, but to me that could have been whittled down a little bit. You know, it wasn't my session. So I've always said, man, I believe in quality, man, over quantity, but I believe you can have both. I really do. I don't believe that you have to just put out some bullshit, you know, in the name of having numbers. I believe you can put out some quality good shit, but you just can't, you know, can't be dragging ass, man. You can't just, you know, if you have to know what you want, and then when you get with somebody else musically, you know, that knows what they want, man, come on. I done made some of the best tracks and, you know, like 10 minutes, you know what I mean? As opposed to the one I labored over for 2 hours, and it still didn't sound right. You know what I'm saying?
So let me add to that. So
Okay,
he's in this creative realm, right? Nah, this don't sound right. This don't sound right. This don't sound right. I'm like this, nigga. I'm paying for this time. You know what I'm saying? I'm paying for this. This shit ain't free.
Right.
This ain't. You know what I'm saying? Nah. We got 4 hours. You dig what I'm saying to you? I'm thinking you can use one.
Right.
Thank you.
And we gonna go lay vocals for one. You know, hey, you know, whoever can do it on first take.
Man, to me, anybody that you fuck with should be able to do it on the first take, man. You know, and don't get me wrong. I'm talking about not somebody that you're doing a demo for, but somebody that, you know, has regional, you know, man, they should be able to come in because look, they ain't got that time either. You know, they trying to go international or global. You know what I mean? So it's like you guys should both know, and I can't wait to get to that level. By the way, if you know, like where you just know, you know what you want. You know, I got, you know, let's track it up because I remember that, man. That was the only thing that night that just went. You know, P1 came in, pat, and it was on. But I remember, you know, like I said, the artist and don't. I mean, and I enjoyed the vibe, man, because that was the first time that I ever been in the studio. So
yeah, and I used to enjoy going to the studio, man. But as I got older, it was like, nah, I'm not. I mean, I'll go in, and then if it's a restaurant or something, you know, in the vicinity, I'll probably go over there, and then swing back through. But just sitting, you know, smoking and drinking. At first, it was cool. I was having a great. I mean, it was like the newness of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh man, okay, yeah. But it was like, nah, fuck this shit, man. I'm finna go. Oh, you know what I mean? Go do something else, and y'all can be up in here doing this shit.
spoken like a true executive producer. Because you know what?
I'm gonna come back and get that ADAT, and then I'm out.
Yeah. There it is. Spoken like a true executive producer, man. Because I know I just had a thought, and I remember it's about us back in the day. Like when I did find out that you was into music, but like you said, you wasn't an artist. You weren't, but it's like, dude, you just had, like I said, an acumen. Excuse my redundancy, but I can honestly say, like, in real life, like, somebody that I can say I know personally, you're the first executive producer, man, that I've seen, like, that I know. Because, I mean, you hear, and Puffy's the, executive producer, this one. But I'm saying, like, you had it before I even know what that definition meant. You know what I mean? Because you were just that. You know what I mean? You were, like you said, man, like, you hang out with the artists and all that, but you facilitate, man. You that's an executive producer, man. That's somebody that funding this, like you said. Nigga, I'm paying for the studio time. We got 4 hours. We should have knocked this out and, tracked it up in the first hour and got it fucking perfect. Then the next hour, shit, them vocals and overdubs and everything should have been done. And those other 2 hours, shit, we could have rented that shit out, you know what I mean, to somebody else, like Kanye did, you know what I mean? Like, he was making this album on other people's studio time, dog.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Shit.
But I don't think I would change anything because the things that, trial and error, I think they call it.
Yeah.
So I don't think I would change. I mean, I would like to change the outcome. I would like to have seen us really be able to sell records. Now, how many? But just to have the vehicle in place.
Yeah.
To say, hey, here's the record. Here's 100 copies of it. Let's see what it does.
Okay.
But I got never, I could never get with an artist that would share that vision, man. And it's funny because you got to remember we're talking to each other, right?
Yeah.
But this shit is gonna be everywhere probably once we upload it, right? So anybody can hear it.
Yeah.
So I was about to say something, but fuck it, I'm gonna say it anyway. I had one artist, man, and loved him to death. Cool guy, really good dude. But he would always. So we would have 5 songs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then for some reason, he would switch producers, because at this point, I'm like, man, let me know when the shit is done, and then we'll go from there. And then he would say, well, you know what? I don't fuck with him no more. I'm gonna fuck with this dude. So I'm thinking we're gonna get 5 more songs. Okay. He would go in and redo the same 5 songs, but with the new producer. So I was like, okay, yeah, okay. You know, the first time I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, sure. But like three producers later, and we still, you know, again, I love the dude, I love him to death, but we just really, we didn't see eye to eye with that. You know, I wasn't understanding it, and it was like redundancy, like you just said. It was like you could take the same lyrics, right, but lay them over different music.
Yeah.
So, I think you still there?
Yeah, I'm still there.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, I was just wondering, like, yeah, man, I didn't understand that at all, and I really felt like he was the one that I was going to be able to work with in the first person I was going to be able to work with, where we could say, hey, this is what we're going to do.
Right.
We're gonna sell 1,000 copies of a record. That's the goal.
Mm-hmm.
I think back then $10, so you know, $10,000.
Yeah.
Independently.
Yeah.
And I kind of that's my one true regret that I wasn't able to really create a vehicle to do that.
Now I would like to think about it, brother, is that, you know, like, you thinking about, you know, the gross, you know what I mean? Well, I'm sorry. I'm not going to be assuming here. Yeah, 10 grand gross, but, you know, did you consider at that time, you know, and I'm asking, I'm not, you know, being accusatory, but, like, did you consider, like, how much you were going to be taxed out of that?
Well, the distributor took $350 per record. Okay. That was their, yeah. So that's what they were charging and it was strictly Midwest.
Okay, gotcha.
It was called Midwest Artist Distribution, and you know, Milwaukee, Indiana, Cincinnati, and my thought was, you know, places what the fuck is our album in California? What's the benefit when we can't promote it and we can't support it? Right. So you figure Midwest, you know, you can get to anyone in places 4 hours in the car.
Right.
So that made more sense. Like, okay, you know, we got a record in St. Louis. We can ride down to St. Louis, do some on the ground promotions or whatever. Yeah. And support it. You know, Cincinnati, you get there in 4 hours. Indianapolis, 2 hours. So, you know, I mean, I thought I had a plan lined up that would work, you know, and as long as we put in the work, the plan will work the plan, and we should be straight. But I just could never find the right product to plug into the model.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So,
okay.
Well, yeah.
Well, you know what, man? I'd like to think that, you know, everything that you had then, it's like amplified now. What I mean, and you have the knowledge. Now you have the wisdom. You know what I mean? So, you know, you can make it happen. You know what I mean? Because now you know what you didn't know back then. Because sometimes I think about, man, had I went into the game back then, man, not even, I probably would have been a little broke, man, you know, or, you know what I mean? Because it's like I didn't understand the business of music. I really didn't. And that's, you know, where you came in. But, you know, it's like, I don't know, like, okay, you and I, when we first, you know, musically collaborated, like, I was still young. It was like the first time Kanye, you know, met New ID, you know what I mean? and you were like new ID, you know, no ID. I'm sorry, no ID. And you know, I was, you know, young, but you know, you saw that I had potential. But I said that to say this, that I understand it now differently, man. Even sonically, you know, I just hear different. Like I can hear every little things that I didn't hear, you know, back then. And I'm sure it's the same for you too, brother. Like, you know, your knowledge is turned into wisdom now. You know, that's where wisdom comes from. You know, Solomon was the only person that gets to ask for it and just get it. The rest of us, man, we have to have knowledge. And when we take those L's, and hopefully there's not a lot of them, but there'll be enough of them to where we'll turn that knowledge into wisdom. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that's what I believe, like, man, you'll be, look, you didn't learn from Suge, you didn't learn from Puff, you didn't learn from P, you didn't learn from Baby. You know what I mean? Like, dude, and we don't have to sell records the same way. I mean, you know, who buys this anymore? Now it's about streaming, now it's about the hits. Man, we can, you know, like build something, just, like I said, just hit them with it, man, you know, because content is content now, man. Everybody that's anybody got something out there. But this is the one thing I had to realize, man. Like, there's only one Steve, man. There's only one Amos. There's only one Ade, man. Only one. So what we can do, literally, dog, and logically, only we can do it. So, if, you know, somebody can, you know, it's often imitated, but never duplicated. He only made one. You know what I mean? Even if you had a twin, y'all different. Rodney and Ronald.
Yep.
Them two, man, they were like, you know, but they were different. Like when I first met Ronald, it was like, yeah, he, you know, Rodney's Rod's the one that's running this clique. Look, he's the twin. Look, he's Big Pun and Ronald's Fat Joe.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh wow, man. Yeah.
So man,
but
he was just,
you know, the energy though, man. I don't know. It's like I got to figure out that part. Like, do I have the energy for that?
I think, like you said before, brother, not to interrupt, but I think, like before, you said I didn't have a product. I think if you had a product, I think that energy will just kick in. So go ahead, continue. I'm sorry.
No, I mean, I just got to figure that out, man, because like the shit that I'm concerned with now, you know, having the greenest grass on the block, you know what I'm saying? having the best flowers in front of, you know what I mean? That type of shit, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And you know what, man? When it comes to that, that's why I'm just saying, like, it just has to be a passion project. You know what I mean? Because just in case you, well, I'm sure your dad filled you in that day, but you know, like, I want to revisit, you know, like music, you know, musically with your dad, because I just feel like, you know, what he has, what he's always had, and what I have, what I've always had, like, you know, something, you know, could happen, you know, even if it's just, you know, locally, you know what I mean? You just never know. But just sonically, man, you know, I think that if you have a product, then you'll definitely know, you'll just have the energy, man. Because, look, I don't see how you had the energy to do all that grilling you be doing, man. But you had that. This is a grilling mofo right here, boy. I'm like, this boy be out, snow on the ground, and then still got his grill going.
Yeah,
that's my
like
guy, though. That's my guy. Mm-hmm.
That passion, you know, I just, you know, like I told you, I'm going to be probably out of pocket for a little bit. Most from the middle to the end of April, I'm going to be kind of, you know what I'm saying, out of pocket. But, you know, and that's going to give me a lot of time to think, too.
Yeah. And you know what, brother? I mean, really, I mean, no rush. I mean, I just, like, I see what you're doing, man. I see you. You know what I mean? Dave, your father's a boss. You know that, right? Like, I mean, for real, like, always has been. Like, your father was always solid, man. You know what I mean? Like, he just was always that guy. You know what I mean? Like, he knew everybody knew him, but, you know, he wasn't connected, like, to anybody. You know, like, he was him. And, like, he was like the son, and everybody had to like come to him. You know what I mean? Like not in an arrogant fashion, but just he was just him. He was comfortable in his own skin. He still is, and you know, I'm not even gonna lie. I gleaned some shit from him. You know what I mean? Give me that, nigga. I need to be. Because look, I was rather Annie up. You know what I mean? Shit. Because I mean, he just had a fucking confidence that I just, you know, because like I said, Rod, he was more like a bulldog, man. You was more like a, you know, you was just that guy, man. You know, and I ain't gonna lie. At first, I was like, who's this nigga? You know what I mean? But then instantly, just like that, Steve, it wasn't even 30 seconds. It was like, shit, maybe somebody you should get to know, nigga. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, but it was never opportunistic. I mean, like I said, man, we connected when we were supposed to, man. You know what I mean? Yeah. And you a straight up dude, and I was, you know, telling my lady and, you know, about, you know, it's like Steve is solid. I said, you know, because like you said, man, we the same. Dude, you know you hit me with that Bible study thing, right?
Yeah.
You hit me with that one, man. But that's real. I mean, like, I'm not an impulsive guy, man, but that's how I was. Like, at the time, it's like, wait a minute, I need to stop all this devilment. You know? This devilment. Devilment. That's how I thought at the time, you know, because I was raised in a very, very strict religious household, man. I mean, like, my family's just off the chain when it comes to religion, which is why I am the way I am now. So, man, I remember even Rod, he was like, dog, you're not going to go and see Ice Cube, you know what I mean? And Yo-Yo's going to be there, dog, you know what I mean? You're not going to go. And I'm like, man, I have to, you know, go to church. But, man, I was like, ah. And look, and then Rod, the next day, Steve, he rubbed it in. He was like, dog, you missed it, man. I was so close to Yo-Yo, man. You know, I saw the sweat dripping, you know, off her head in between her titties, dog. She turned her ass right to me, dog. I'm like, I hope this works.
That's him. That's him.
That's him. Is that not him?
Yeah. That's him.
Yeah. Because that was one smooth. Look, I took his shit too. You know what I mean? I borrowed his, you know, like, give me that shit, nigga. Because look, I didn't have a father growing up, so, you know. And I'm not saying taking somebody's stilo or their personality. I mean, just like, oh, okay, that guy got, you know, this, that, you know. And, of course, if you're going to sample somebody's shit, you make it your own, right? So, you know, when it came to you, man, you a cool customer. I mean, you that guy that be like, you know, snap finger, you know, and everybody know what the fuck it means. You know what I mean? That's your dad out there. You know?
Man, that's funny.
What?
No, you ain't. Go ahead.
No, I got one more. No, in the same vein. Your dad is the guy, like, this is what always impresses me in movies. Your dad can be like, or, and they'll just know what to do. I'm just like, wait, was there a program? Like, is something I missed? So go ahead, Steve.
Man, so when we went to Europe, it was a group of us that went. And full disclosure, we're not allowed back in Europe ever again. We can never go back in Europe. We can't go back. They were like, these niggas is not allowed back in Europe. First, we had late. We flew into London, and then we were waiting to get on a flight to go to what is that little another little spot? No, Barcelona. We was going to fly from London to Barcelona, right? So we had a 12-hour layover.
Woo, man.
So they were saying, "Hey, man, why don't y'all go and tour London?"
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, but nah, fuck that, because I don't want to be out there and then, you know, whatever, then we missed the flight.
Right.
So United Airlines has the United Lounge. And the only way you can get in there, you have to have an Amex Black Card.
Oh,
so
wow.
we go up to this shit, right? And motherfucker was like, oh no, you guys aren't. You can't come in here. You have to have an Amex Black Card. Niggas are like, boom. We got 5 of them, nigga. What? You know what I'm saying? We got here. Pick one. So we go up in there, and it's like all you can drink, all you can eat, whatever you do. It's like imagine going to a bar, where you the bartender, or going to a restaurant and you cooking the food. It was like that. So we got 12 hours of this shit, man. They had to call motherfucking security on us, man. They had, I mean, all right. So this group of people, we were at the crib one night. I had a birthday party, and then they all came over here, and I was fucked up. So we sitting at the dining room table, and my buddy Darren came in with his wife. So at the table, it's like 6 chairs. So I wanted them to sit at the table. So April told me that all I did was this. She said I didn't say a word. I just did. I was just pointing like.
Always you, man.
To go back to what you just said, she told me that shit, man. That fucked me. I said, I did that. She was like, yeah. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, that's always been you, man. The facilitator, the great facilitator. Look, you know, your father's fingers are the Godfather, you know, with the strings on. That's yeah. They're like, oh, okay, nah, okay, get this nigga out of here, and they know what it means. And look, your father could nod subtly, and they know that means like, no, he don't wink, but you know, like yeah, take him out back, you know. Show him that it ain't like that, you know what I mean? And then, you know what I mean? And they just know that, and he can say nothing. He has plausible deniability.
Yeah, just say shit. I ain't say shit.
He ain't say shit. He just looked at it. And look, I be like, yeah, what did he say anything? No, he just, what's up?
What? Oh, shit. What, man? I'm going to tell you, man. And The Godfather, I think it's the second one. When his mom, when Mike is alive and Fredo is alive, and they're at the repast, not the funeral, but they're at like the after the funeral. No, because her body was there.
Yeah, her body was there. Yeah, that was the repast. I mean, you know, when they view it, that was 2. Yeah.
So Fredo come in and he like, hey man, Mike ain't even gonna come holler at me.
I know
like,
going, yeah.
Like Mike ain't finna fuck with you, nigga. He ain't. And then Connie went and talked him into coming in.
Yeah.
He came in.
Yeah.
And he hugged him, and he just looked at him.
Oh boy, he just looked at him. He didn't nod or nothing.
Just looked at him. With grief in his face, and he did it in slow motion, like he held his head up. But his eyes were still down. But then when he lifted his eyes up, he looked at him.
Yeah.
And his man was like, he didn't say nothing either, but he was like, like,
yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Straight up. Now, and let me ask you this, Steve, because I haven't vacillated between it because, well, before I tell you my answer, okay, when he found out that Fredo betrayed him, when he's like, you know, you broke my heart. After that, when, you know, everything broke out, it was that ruckus. And remember, Fredo was running, and Michael, he was, you know, he had his car, and he's like, Fredo, come here, you know, you'll be safe. Do you think that had Fredo went with Michael, he would have, you know, got rid of him then? Or do you think that at that time, do you think that even though Michael knew that Fredo betrayed him, that he was willing to forgive him, had he came with him then?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Okay. Well, you know what? Look, that lets me know you're my brother too. Because look, I analyze the fuck out of everything, and it's like, I don't know. You know?
I don't know.
So obviously it was destined for Fredo to, you know.
But you know what? I don't know, but Mike was by himself in that. No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't by himself. He had a driver.
Yeah.
And he had that wicked motherfucker that was over there doing much damage. So, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Well, shoot. Man, it's good to be able to talk about, you know, the old flicks, man, and just, you know, to me, well, no, not just to me, in society, man, little little do people know, man, life goes in a 20-year circle, man. So that means what happened 20 years ago is happening again 20 years later. I mean, I'm talking about fashion. I'm talking about, like just even things that people go through, wars, rumors of wars, all this stuff. I say that to say this. Hip hop, the way it is now, it is demographically, it has been marketed between 18 and 35. That's been marketed. But, man, I bet you, being the promoter that you are, dude, put on a old school, and I'm talking about like people, like in our demographic, man, that remember the Big Daddy Kane's, Biz Markie, God rest his soul. But I mean, like, man, I look out for old school artists, man. R&B, hip hop, you know what I mean? Because they need to eat too, still. Because, they've already been robbed. So it's like, they can eat if we support them. But I don't see nobody promoting that, man. That could be your lane right there.
We went to a show at the Airy Crown maybe like 5 years ago. Mm-hmm. Rakim, yep. Big Daddy Kane.
Yep.
I think they had Crucial Conflict. Mm-hmm. And some other people. And it was good to kind of get that feeling again. You know what I'm saying? To hearing the music. But I hear what you're saying, promoting those kind of shows, and that's what we did with the African Festival.
Okay.
When we had the hip hop stage, it would be all old school. Like that picture I got with P. That was at the old school festival. I mean, I'm sorry, at the African Festival. We was doing special.
Yeah, I know the last concert I saw, man, like an old school artist was it was at the Chicago Theater. I want to say it was like 2 years ago. Yeah, it was 2 years ago. And 3 years ago now. But man, EPMD, Ghostface and Raekwon, they couldn't get the whole Wu-Tang Clan. But Crucial Conflict, who had? Oh yeah, DMX, man.
DMX there?
Yeah, man, he had.
Okay.
But they had all these other artists, right at the Chicago Theater. It was right up the street from the gig, man. When I saw that shit, I was like, oh hell yeah, and I went there and it was just me. I went by myself, man. And I'm telling you, when Crucial Conflict start performing, hey, in the middle of the park, man, they start lighting up in the Chicago Theater. I was like, all right, cool. They was passing, like, you know what I mean? Like, it was lit, man. But DMX, man, I'm glad I got to see homie in action, man. R.I.P. to D, man. R.I.P. to him, man. Because, I mean...
Yeah, I heard he gave a hell of a show.
Man, And, dude, the only reason I don't have that footage, dog, is because I went to Cancun, and, man, I turned up so much, I don't know what the fuck happened to that phone, man. And I didn't back it up, but, man, I remember that nigga. I mean, just to see him, and I'm, like, when I go to concerts, man, look, if I'm not like you, Steve, where I'm behind the scenes, where I'm, at the stage, then... I'm like right in front, man. I won't buy a ticket, man, to sit all the way back in the fucking balcony and mezzanine. You know what I mean? Yeah. And shout out to those that do, but that's just not me. I want to be right there, So, that night, man, like, D, man, he climbed up on the speakers. I mean, he was high up and, classic Timberlands, orange Timberlands. I mean, he had, matching, like, this nigga was ready for battle, man. He tore that shit down, dog. Like, next to him, man, performance-wise, as a single artist, Big Daddy Kane. All day, man. Like, first time I saw Big Daddy, UIC, man, that's when he had Scoob and Scrap. Man, it was me and Rod, man. And that's when, if you can believe this, Kool Moe Dee was headlining. So they had Kid and Play, MC Lyte, MC Lyte opened up, Kid and Play, then Big Daddy Kane, then they brought out Kool Moe Dee. Man, people started leaving. You know what I mean? Because Kool Moe Dee, he was, but man, he was cool. Daddy, he tore that shit down, nigga. I mean, and the way he rapped, You know what I mean? Like, he was our Jay-Z, man, to me. He was our Jay as far as his lyrical, Big Daddy Kane. Yeah. He was our, so for him to da-da-da-da-da-da-da and still be dancing and splitting and jumping off the Scoob's back and landing, I mean, nigga, it was like, what the fuck is going on here?
Hold on. Remember that concert I told you we went to at the Airy Crown?
Yeah.
Big Daddy, Scoob, and Scrap was there, right?
Yeah.
Now, mind you, what year was this that you went to go see him?
Man, I want to say, well, no, it actually was, I came out here 88, so 92.
Right, nigga. Let's say this 2010. Them niggas had the audacity. I don't remember this move. One of the dancers would kind of lean down and swing his leg around, and then Big Daddy would over the leg. Them niggas had to do that shit like 5 times. And I give it to them. They didn't just like, well, fuck it, we fucked up. They were like, nah, you know, like, you jump rope and you get back in place. All right, on 3, we gonna do it again. Them niggas did that shit like 5 times. But they put on a hell of a show. He was like, because the first time it was kind of like he hit his ankle and he kind of did like that. He was like, nah, fuck that. We gonna get these people a show, nigga. Line it back up. You know what I'm saying? And they did this shit, man. Like,
this is what we're known for. We got to execute it, fellas. This is what we're known for.
and then,
oh my God.
Moves weren't crisp. You know what I'm saying? They need to, but they get, man. They still put on the show though. He still got the lyrics, and I'm gonna tell you, man, Rakim. So like EPMD was there, and everybody looked kind of. They weren't crisp, right? They weren't crisp. They didn't go. I'm talking about how they was dressed.
Oh, okay, yeah. They just throwing shit on us, putting on stage.
Rakim came out, nigga. Crisp, all white ones. He had on like some Levi's. He had on a Dapper Dan Gucci jacket. That motherfucker, man, he was like, yeah. Rakim, man. He still got that look. He still got it. He can walk down there and niggas like, is he selling products? What is he doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, for real.
Well, we know he's not on Aftermath, so, you know. But like you said, man, but Rob, he's always going to be able to earn, man, because he has it, but man, like, I don't understand. You know what? I was disappointed that he didn't work out with, with Aftermath. But Dre, being the perfectionist that he is, Rob wants to get his product out, but at the same time, to try to market Rakim to 18 to 35-year-olds, you know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, you gotta. To me, there's a lane, Steve, where, like. But you're gonna have to own it. You know what I mean? Like, okay, slow down. So, the old way was selling records, having a distributor. The new way is just putting content out and monetizing it. Okay, so when it comes to the way that music should be put out, I think, man, like, as our brains like really come together and brainstorming, because I mean, I can tell like you definitely have, that business level, of knowing how to monetize. See, that's what I don't have. And you know what? This is something, man, that's like, I'm sorry to segue this quick, but I'm always cognizant of you're only as strong as your team. You know what I mean? And, I know, brother, having somebody like you, on any team, you know what I mean? Like, it's going to work out, you know what I mean? Because it's like, oh, can we get into it? Okay, all right, because I was searching. So what you sent me today, man, do you believe that about Jay sending a message to subliminally to Dame? because you sent that to me. So
it made sense in the sense that to throw off any thoughts of him feeling a negative way, you send out that positive energy in public.
Yeah.
And then you know what? And then like me and I, they talk about certain things too, like the message, right? What was that message? Like he said, I can't undo your accomplishments.
Yeah, that's exactly what he said.
Yeah, I didn't know Jay-Z didn't want him to make that movie about the snitch.
I didn't know that either. No, I didn't know that either. Yeah.
I find it, okay, let's say this, ironic that he gets killed the night Jay-Z is inducted, or that night. Man. I mean,
I felt something.
Yeah, it's just a little ironic. I'm not saying. I'm just saying it adds up. Fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Like really.
It's a little too coincidental for me, man. But it
on Halloween.
Yeah.
See, these young niggas got something. They call it the demon hour. I don't know if you ever heard that term.
Oh yeah.
And that to me, that's the ultimate demon hour.
Yeah.
Halloween.
Where they have to sacrifice somebody. Yeah. Well,
they call it Devil's Night.
Yeah. Because it is. It's like the death of Christmas. It is. And a lot happens, man. And, I was raised in a all-white community, man, and they really be hardcore with that shit, man. Like, dudes will just... Sorry, my lady.
Okay. So what you thinking about, Ade?
Man, just listening, and I was, I agree with the idea of, like, creating space for artists who still have, you know what I mean? Because I was talking to somebody else about that, and it was saying that, like, there's people with wisdom that a lot of the younger artists, like, need to hear. You know what I mean? I think the idea that it's a young man's game, but it's like nobody's listening to anybody, or nobody's saying anything that really matters anymore, at least not to me. And then the few that do kind of get drowned out.
Okay. Yeah, I know. It was something I was looking at, and it was a younger dude talking to an older guy, and the older guy was saying, "Man, if I brought some of the OGs back, is there anything that they could teach you?" This on street shit, some street shit, right? And he was like, the young dude was like, "Nah, nigga, y'all can't." He was like, "Nah, y'all can't tell us, because y'all ain't the ones out there getting shot at. Y'all ain't the ones out there, with y'all lives on the line. And we'll probably kill y'all for trying to talk to us." So I think it's a hesitant piece involved with people about trying to help.
Right.
I think that's something that people are concerned about. Like they're doing this thing called a program with the city of Chicago where they're trying a violence prevention program, and then they get all these people, our age, but nobody that's really got a foot in that generation and a foot out. Just people who are looking at it from afar, trying to tell them, well, y'all should stop doing this, y'all, without offering any solutions, right?
Right.
Why y'all niggas killing each other? Why y'all doing this? Why y'all doing that? Y'all shouldn't do that. But it's like you can't tell a person who is in their mindset preserving their livelihood or, providing for their family, however they're doing it, without giving them an alternative to do the same thing. So I think there's a generational thing too where I don't know. And my brother, I'm gonna bring him up. He worked with high school kids, and he was like, "It's not listening. They just not listening." I mean, he was helping them he was helping them, with going filling out college applications. He was helping them to forward think about 5 years from now. Niggas ain't trying. They just wasn't trying to hear it. Yeah. We're thinking about 5 days from now. We're thinking about 5 hours from now. You talking about 5 years? Man, please. That's bullshit. And he was saying that's how that was the mentality of these young kids, or the younger high school age kids. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You know what snuck up on me, man, was we are now, Steve, those elders, man. We are now them. I mean, the last, human being in my family that was older than me passed November of last year, man. It's like, yeah, it's me. And I got a big fucking family, man. So, I'm just saying, like, that snuck up on me, dog. Because it's like, all right, being a father, cool. Being a husband, cool. Being divorced, cool. Blah, blah, blah. Wait a minute. Now you over all this. What? It's like, I rushed when I was 9. I wanted to be 10, just to be in double digits. When I was 10, I wanted to be 13. When I was 13, I wanted to be 16 so I could drive. When I was 16, shit, by the time I knew it, 18 hit me, became a father for the first time, and it just skyrocketed from there, man. Yeah. It was like, and my mom used to always tell me, man, like, enjoy being a kid. She said, you have that much time to be a kid. I remember I wanted a job, and, and she was trying to let me know. And I did enjoy my childhood. But, man, I understand that more now than I ever have, man, in life. It's like, being grown is real. It's not just age grown. It's like making grown decisions. Having, wisdom over knowledge, and they work in conjunction with each other because really they come from each other. And like you said, man, these youngsters, they don't listen because, man, they never had to go outside and play, Steve. Can we talk about it? Man, you couldn't stay up in the house, you know what I mean? Like, grown folks in there, look, they doing what we would be doing one day. But it wasn't our time. Because, they in there, they got their Bacardi, they got their bumpy face, whatever. They getting it in. Go on outside and play, boy. Go on outside and play. Because you trying to hang around them because they be talking shit. It's like the kids outside playing, and go on outside and play, boy. So what that did for us is it helped us to develop our interpersonal skills. And look, when you think about it, especially if you're not from the neighborhood, you got to network like a motherfucker, or else you'd be violated. You know what I mean? So, but these days, they got everything instantaneous, and so they don't. Go ahead. I'm sorry, you had something right there.
You growing up in California, I know, based on the records that I've heard, niggas, like you say, you got to politic the neighborhoods, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I say, where you from, my nigga? Where your grandma stay, nigga? You know what I'm saying? It's like, what's up? Who you, nigga? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, who you? Fuck you doing over here?
And for a small community, Steve, I couldn't understand how a little northern, the northern peninsula, like, we right by the ocean, my nigga. Like, we right there. What are we mad about? Our projects is spread out. Well, their project, their projects is spread out, and it's just 2 tiers. They look like condos. So I cannot understand why East Palo Alto niggas didn't like these little niggas. It's like these little niggas ain't shit. Like, like they start wearing black after everybody else start. I mean, like, it's a small town, but I just couldn't understand at that time. Because, look, I'm from Monterey, so I'm around the white people. Not wanting to be. I wanted to be there. I remember I begged my mom to move in the midst of niggas. And my mom looked at me like, I mean, because it's like, man, even though I lived in Monterey, all white community, I used to stay over there, man. Like, I was hungry, you know what I mean? So anyway, I said that to say this, that, man, I just didn't understand in such a small community, why so much infighting? Because I'm telling you, man, when East Palo Alto niggas came to Seaside of San Jose, you know what I mean? Like, it was on. And look, don't bring Oakland. Shit, you know what I mean? Like, yo, when I found out that Shock G, you know, like Digital Underground, and man, I knew Oakland. Look, I passed through Oakland, just so we clear. Like, I never hung out, because I was from, you know, the Monterey Peninsula. So, but I remember when East Palo Alto came, man, I knew somebody was going to get choked out. You know what I mean? I knew, you know, pow, 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 you know what I mean? And I just, look, I was always loosely affiliated, man. I wasn't part of that mix. You know, look, I'm an artist. Look, I'm an artist. So
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be like for real. I ain't gonna snitch on nobody, but man, I'm telling you, it was real over there. And it's like, I just didn't understand the beef. I know that's the third time I said it, so let me correlate it and make sense of it. Man, at the end of the day, dude, back then we was all just trying to, you know, hit as much ass or get as many numbers as we can and figure ourselves the fuck out. What the fuck are you guys beefing about? You know what I mean? Like, I just didn't understand that shit. And so, man, whenever they was fighting, I get their girl.
Okay.
He over there getting choked out in his Cadillac. Nigga, I remember the first time I said, what? Because it was a broad street, you know, and, man, they stopped too much shit. My man Rocco, you know, this dude was trying to drive off, but it was so crowded, like he couldn't run over motherfuckers. Like he would have been boom, 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 boom. So he was like, and Rocco reached in, man. He choked the shit out of this nigga. This nigga was trying to drive, man. I was like, wow, you know. But I didn't flinch. That's the thing, Steve. You would think somebody that was raised religious and straight-laced like me, I would have been like, oh shit, you know, this going down. I was just like, huh, look at that. Yeah. I didn't move. I didn't like, oh shit, baby, let me.
Well, you know that the rumor has that religious niggas is the worst niggas, though. I mean, not to say that about you, but
no,
I
get
it. They say, hey, hold on. They say if you want your dick sucked on the first date, fuck preach daughter. You know what I'm saying? You know, hold on, nigga, or his wife.
Woo! Man, you know what? I'll say this, bro, about that, because you are absolutely right. I have no rebuttal, because I've heard them all, dog. But like you were saying, when my lady called, I mean, man, you were raised how you were raised. You know what I mean? If you've been given opportunities, then you take them. Because I was raised extremely religious. I mean, nigga, I get time, you know, I get credit for time served, you know. Since I was knee-high to a duck's back, I was in church. And seeing people catch the Holy Ghost. I mean, like, so I understand the connotation, because it's just like preachers' kids are the worst kids. And it's like, because they're under the worst scrutiny. So, you know, when you just, you know, you're doing everything right, you know, or, you know, you're doing what you're taught and things still aren't working out, then you start kind of breaking out and being like Luda and throwing some bows and, you know? Yeah. Oh, man, yeah, I thought you was so saved. I thought you was religious. Well, I am. Shit, Peter cut off an ear. What, I can't slap the shit out of you? You know what I mean? Because you're disrespectful. You're disrespectful. You know what I mean? And I think that, and you know what? I know that in the Word of God, it does say, you know, somebody slap you on the cheek, you're supposed to turn the other one. But, man, I'm about as saved as they come, you know, in our generation. I that just don't work for me, bro. I'm sorry. God just wanted to understand that one. Because if niggas slap me, I'm, you know what I mean? And not to take that turn, but I'm just saying, like, man, religion, I do understand why people just like, bump that, you know? I was like, this chick that I actually love, man, you know, she called me Jesus-y.
She called you what?
That was Jesus-y.
Jesus-y, okay.
Yeah. Okay. Before Jeezy came, she called me Jesus-y. And man, you know what that made me think of, Steve? That made me think about Lamont and you and Rodney. You all saw the same thing. But to hear all of you guys, you know, say it differently, because I did, like Rod gave it to me on the front end, because, you know, he's my boy. Lamont gave it to me on the middle. And you gave it to me, you know, like when you explained it, you know, just now, you know, what we're doing now, and even when we chopped it up earlier, you know what I mean? Because it was extreme, man, but that just, I mean, that's just who I am. Like as a person, like I just like when I make a decision, man, it's like I'm all in, period. Like you don't have to worry about me wavering and vacillating and well, you know, I said that, but you know, I really meant that. Nah. If I said it, I'm gonna do it. And at that time, brother, what the reason that extreme was because man, I was becoming a father for the second time, dog.
Right.
And I had never, you know, my father wasn't around, you know what I mean? So it's like, yo, I need to come back to the Lord and get my life right and miss Yo-Yo's fat ass. And, you know, I didn't pray like that at the time, but I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I have to miss this. And so that's why when you said, you know, like, you can go to the North Shore Club, like, nah, I missed that. Because, man, sometimes when I think about in my 20s, when I was being the family man, what I missed out on.
Yeah.
You know, I just have to think about, again, going all the way back, Ade, to destiny. That's what I was meant to do. Because if you think about it, like, it was like the perfect mix for me to turn up with you guys, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Talking about you, Steve, Gerald, you know what I mean? Like the whole, man, but I would have been, So God was like, calm down. Look, I'm going to give you kids and give you responsibility, and then you can get back out there once you get some sense. Because it wasn't that I was entitled, man, like a motherfucker. So I caught, you know, I probably 64th and Jeffrey, Steve. Courtney, Cynthia was having a birthday party or something gathering. Cynthia and Courtney was there on 64th and Jeffrey, remember? Like, that little, man, dude, I was so green. But you know what? That's the thing about me. I don't get embarrassed anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It was BYOB, dog. I'm green. What do you think I brought, dog?
A Bible?
No, man, it wasn't that bad. That was before the Bible.
Okay.
I bought a brick of rose, man.
Hey, shit. And what's the problem?
BYOB, where there's ladies, like, you know, Courtney and Cynthia, they were just like, oh, okay.
Man,
I didn't know no better, man. So look, since I didn't get the social scene and the secular tone of Chicago, mind you, man, where I came from, it's like everybody out there is like mixed up. You got Filipinos, you got a melting pot. So when I come up here, Chicago's segregated. I didn't know that shit. You know what I mean? So, you know, I hung with my peoples, and then when I didn't even fit in with my peoples, you know, like that, then I was like, okay, I'm having another kid. I'm going to start a family, and, you know, I just went from there. So that's why I was extreme with that.
You said BYOB. And so, right idea, if you had like a little, like say you brought some Hawaiian punch.
Mm-hmm.
With the rose.
Okay.
Hey, ladies, I'm about to make it just a little punch. You know what I'm saying? It's real.
That's a good idea, yeah. But I just didn't know, man.
Mm-hmm. And then you could be up in there on your Bill Cosby shit in about an hour after that, man. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, dog.
Serious.
Dog.
I'm serious, man. Because I know when we were in school, we would make a punch, and it would be thing like Wild Irish, Mad Dog, and a Thunderbird. And then, but what you would do is you would kind of mix it down with some punch, right? So we would go up to the caf, and niggas would go up in there and bring like these big ass containers and fill up these containers with punch and bring it back down to the dorm, and we make the punch, and then be like, okay, it's 5 o'clock, okay. Yeah, baby, he gonna have another glass. You have another glass. Y'all cool? Y'all need anything else? Okay, it's 5:45. He gonna have another glass. 6:15. Bill Cosby time.
I just have, you know, I just gotta be honest. I have a reaction to that because I mean, Bill to me, like, you know, the Quaaludes and all that. You know, like I just, you know, if he. And I'm not saying it ain't my business, but, you know, I've never, ever had to, you know, pull anything, any okey doke or nothing. You know, to me, that's cheating. To me. You know what I mean? Like, you know, to me, it's like, nah, like, it wasn't her will, and I've never ever and you know what? The ones that I've had, they've always appreciated that. Like, Amos is safe. We ain't got to worry about him being on no bullshit, or nothing. And that's why, I got this early on too, man. I got this early on because I was raised by two women. So it's like, okay, security, check, and just keep your mouth shut, check. Those are the only two things you need, man. That's like whittling down the 10 Commandments down to 2. Love God and love your fellow man. You know what I mean? Secure her, keep your mouth shut. You can reap like a big dog, man. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
because you had something there because now you come on.
But
man.
What I'm saying is, when I heard about what he did, and there's a program called the Secrets of Playboy. I don't know if you've seen it.
Yeah.
And they did deep into the cult of what was happening.
Yeah.
They had a episode with Jim Brown.
Yeah.
Some shit that he was doing, Bill Cosby was doing, and totally out of pocket, right?
Yeah, totally.
So, and I think what we were doing, it was always the intent of creating an environment where you're comfortable.
You're right.
You know what I'm saying? There was never anything malicious intended.
Yeah.
But just to ease the inhibition. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and that probably was wrong too. But
yeah, it was.
That was probably wrong too. But that's just what it was.
Yeah,
I know.
And you know what? Back then, man, that's just it was what it was, man. That's that. And of course, in this generation, like everything is fucking offensive. You know what I mean? But back then, it was just a standard. And even what's that? Mad Men. You know what I mean? The way they harassed and those secretary. Like what they displayed. That is what it was back then. That's why women fought. For their rights and da 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 da. But I'm just saying, like, man, when it comes to business, I'm reminded in the Word of God, it says, "In business, be men." So whether you're a man or a woman, just be men in business. And if you wouldn't grab another man's ass, why you grabbing this woman's ass? You know what I mean? I'm just saying, and to me, man, like women, they've already sized you up too, man. Like they know if they're gonna fuck with you or not. You know what I mean? So you ain't gotta do nothing. You know what I mean? Like, look, they didn't pick you up. You can walk in with a crew, nigga. You know what I mean? Like, it's that eye contact. Like they just, and then once your eyes meet, you got them. And what I mean by that is like if your conversation follows up, what they already attracted to, then man, please, you ain't gotta take nothing. Please, they'll be like giving you everything. You know what I mean? And that's
no, and now lesson that I learned from a older lady, she was like, never think that you didn't talk to a woman out of her panties.
Thank you.
Never. She was never think you did that.
Never. Exactly.
Never think you was just that crafty that you didn't tricked her.
Exactly.
Without cheating.
Exactly.
Niggas cheat.
Yeah.
Without cheating, straight up, head up. You didn't talk her out her panties, nigga. She already knew.
Already knew. And I would say within the first like 15 seconds, man, because it's an instant attraction. So the next 15 seconds will be, let me see how they hold themselves, because you can see somebody that looks good, but, they don't hold themselves well. You know what I mean? So that's the next 15 seconds. The next 15 seconds is like, oh, okay, they got swag. You know what I mean? And so women, they do that quicker than we do, because, in their brain, ping, 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 ping. And I was just like, boom, boom. We're like ping pong, they're like, so they know, man, instantly. Like if it's even a possibility, that's what I'm saying. I'm not even saying like I'm gonna fuck him tonight and it's gonna happen. I'm saying like, they know like, oh, he could get it. He could get it. You know what I mean? Right.
And also, she was like, men and women, like, she was like a dude with money were going to McDonald's, and I'm like, well, I don't know why a nigga with money was going to McDonald's, but she was like, well, they were going to McDonald's and try to talk to the girl behind the counter. Mm-hmm. But a woman won't go into McDonald's and approach a guy behind the counter. Now, like you said, she may be attracted to him, but he gonna put in that work though.
True.
You know, oh damn, you forgot your fries, and run out to the car type shit, and then his approach would have to match her attraction, and then possibly he could work his way in.
Yeah, exactly. That's why you need to make sure that you're making some money. You know what I mean? Because you can have, you can be, physically attractive, but like your father just said, man, like, if you ain't got some bread, man, at least to buy a hot dog, you kind of out the game. I'm not saying you're doing that. I'm just, this is from, your surrogate uncle or your father's acquaintance, associate, good friend. Like, for real, man. Like, and that was, I just have to admit, like, that was part of my, shit. Like, I was the only child, man. No brothers, no sisters, like, no cousins, no uncles, nobody around. So bread was never a problem for me. You know what I mean? So Ade, man, you could be on your Grizzy, but man, she gonna want a hot dog and some fries or, upgrade a burger or something. But like your father said, not McDonald's. You know what I mean? Like, and it doesn't take much, man. When you think about it, like restaurants like McDonald's, Burger King, like sometimes a woman has seen bigger things, but it was with the wrong nigga. So you could just show her a little bit of something, but you the right nigga. And I'm telling you, man, like women, they lead with their hearts. They really do. And we lead with logic. And that's what makes us coexist and be together. You know what I mean? Because shit, sometimes the shit that they say, it doesn't make sense. Because we being logical about that shit. You know what I mean? Like, what? You always, you never, da-da-da. But anyway, to me, the music industry is like that. The music industry is like a stubborn one. You know what I mean? Like, it keeps bucking and keeps bucking. But ever since it was created, like you said, Steve, from Cadillac Records, man. And I love that movie, man. Like, first time I saw it because, it really reminded me of how long this game has been going on, man. Because I didn't know it went back that far. To the 50s, from the first time you were able to hear something on a record, you know what I mean? And, you were able to sell it and market it, you know what I mean? And like you said, Steve, then you have to promote it. And these artists, they're making cents off of, dollars, man. And that's just what I've always got out of it, you know what I mean? Like, this has been around for a long time. And I'm glad that even like systems like LimeWire came along, you know what I mean? It's like, man, give me that shit. You know what I mean? But even Steve Jobs, man, he made it monetary. There's always a way when there's a demand to make it where you can make money off of it. But you can't be greedy for money because that's the root of all evil. That's what gets everybody in trouble, man. When you become greedy for money because our gifts were given to us, man, to profit. That's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to profit from our gifts in this world that we live in and also, sow good seeds so we can be wherever we're going to be, I don't want to go into heaven or hell or all that, but I'm just saying, like, this is not a dress rehearsal, man. This is our lives. This is your life, man. And you heard your dad say, like, if he could have done some things, different, and I'm saying the same thing. Hindsight is 20/20. You know what I mean? So, brother, you seem focused, you know what I mean? And you seem like you know what you want. And I'm telling you, you can learn a lot from your father. And I'm sure you have because you guys, actually came up together. But music industry, and don't think, I saved this, man, the old school Fela. Come on, Steve. I see you, man. I see you. You think I don't see the sub-aqua? You think I don't see the sub-aqua? Look, I can't even get it out. I'm hating. I'm kidding. I saw that because you said, I was like, there it is. Pow. Take it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know, bro. I remember when we were in freshman, college, something like that, a good friend of the family was telling us, because we thought we was doing the most. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Freaknik, you know, I mean, whatever. You know, we just thought we was just doing the ultimate shit, right?
Yeah.
He pulled us aside and was like, nigga, look, let me tell y'all something. You think you kicking it? He was like, wait till you get older, you get some wit, and you get you some money. Time. And he never fucking lied, man. I know money, the love of money is the root of all evil.
Yeah, I love it.
I totally get that. But I'm like, well, I'm not gonna say I love money. I like it. I like the things that I'm able to do with it. You know, without really going into a lot of the things, helping people. One main thing is one of the main things we do is help people. You know, and again, I got to remember this shit is going. People gonna hear this shit. My barber had surgery on his knee, and he texted me. He was like, "Bro, I'm not earning no money right now. You know, do you think you can help me?" And I'm like, "Well, what do you need?" He gave me a number, and I'm like, is that it? That's what you need? He was like, "That'll help me out a lot," and I gave it to him. You know what I'm saying? So to be able to do certain shit like that, just to be help people, you know, family members out of state, man, could really use that. You know, things aren't going well. And April sometimes looks at me like, well, just hold on. You know what I'm saying? And not that I'm going to give it all away. I know what I need and what we need, but if I can help, man, I'm going to help you. If I care about you, and my formula is, would they do it for me? That's what I said. Would this motherfucker do this for me? If the situation was reversed, and if I made it to this person, would they do it for me?
Yeah.
And if that's in my mind, I'm gonna help you.
Yeah. My formula.
If the answer is like, I don't know.
Right.
I mean, I may not help you as much as I probably can.
Okay. That's
but if you got the heart, if you got the humility to say, I need something, and all the motherfuckers you know is to be asked.
Yeah.
Damn, he got to me. So that means he went through this person, he went through that person, he got the last option.
Yeah.
So when it's my turn, I'm gonna help, you know, and it's good, man. I mean, you know, I had a conversation a few years ago, and I was asking him, would I be considered a sellout?
Okay.
Do you remember that conversation that day?
Yeah, I remember.
And because I was just wondering, like, how do people look at me? You know, like, you know, this nigga, I mean, or whatever, you know, whatever the case may be. Being comfortable financially, does that make you a sellout? Because usually people think, well, if you're not struggling, you ain't down. You know what I'm saying? If you pull up to the Stop the Violence rally in the Mercedes-Benz, nigga, you ain't a part of the struggle. You know what I'm saying? If you like, man, I got to get up out this rally because I'm about to go down to Mastro Steakhouse, or I'm about to go do this. Are you still really considered a part of the struggle? Are you legitimately a part of what we're trying to accomplish? So that shit was kind of running through my head. So I asked our day about it. Like, man, what do you think? You know what I'm saying? So when I got his answer, it was like, well, I'm not going to say, don't pay me. I'm not going to say, don't pay me less. I'm not going to say, I'm going to take, you know, you can cut my salary. I'm not going to say none of that shit. You know, I'm just going to figure out a way to be productive it helped.
Yeah. Yeah. My motto is like, this is a religious side of me, but it applies like to my overall philosophy in life. If you see your brother in need and you have what they need and you don't give it, how dwelleth the love of God in you?
Okay.
Like, that has always, so even if I don't want to, if I see somebody is in need, and sometimes, it is like that. Like, they should have known better. But it's like, no, if they need it and I got it, they got it. You know what I mean? And it's not, I don't expect them to pay me back. Like, first of all, like, for me, loaning another dude money, you know what I mean? And it's not, to me, okay, money is like a screwdriver to me. I don't look at it the same way that a lot of people look at it because I've always had it. So to me, and like the Bible says, money answereth all things. It doesn't say it's an answer to all things. So you're always going to be able to throw money at situations, but sometimes that's not what's, necessary. Sometimes it's understanding. Sometimes it's a renegotiation. Sometimes it's an understanding, you know what I mean? But if we agreed upon something, then that is what it's going, to stay at. And I love negotiating, man, because, I know what things are worth. I'm going to do my research. And so money has always just been like, oh, I need a screwdriver. Oh, I need a pair of wire pliers. Like, I've never thought about money like, oh, I'm going to need it and I'll never have enough. So that is what puts me in a different mindset as far as how other people think about money, because I know other people will do anything for money and I won't. You know what I mean? So that is where my ethics, come in when it comes to money, because I'm not going to do anything for it. I'm not. You know what I mean? Because and even, your solid position in life, Steve, you know what I mean? Like, April, she's going to make sure, as your partner that you are aligned with that. But you've already had, your own, because look, let's keep it real. We done fucked up some money. You too, Ade. We done fucked up some money sometimes. You know what I mean? But us fucking up money, it helped us to appreciate, what we were bringing in. It helped us to appreciate that, like, this is not what life is about, because you can have all the money, but when you don't have loved ones, when you don't have a team, when you don't have people that love you, when you don't have people that you don't know why the fuck they're around you. Is it for the parties, or is it for, is it for me? You know what I mean? And to me, that's what, money has always been about, man. It's, and that's why the love of it, it's just the love of it is the root of all evil. Because money in and of itself, that ain't evil.
Yeah.
Having a lot of money, that ain't evil. But when you love it like that, when you, just acquire it, like how much is enough? Because, for me personally, like David said, I don't want to be rich and I don't want to be poor. And what I do have, I'm going to give back, period. And let's go deeper than that. Let me double down. The great pioneers like Rockefellers and the Carnegies, man, they gave back because they had so much. They knew that they would not be able to spend that in a lifetime, 2 lifetimes, 3 lifetimes. So they gave back. You can't take it with you. You can't take it with you. So, if you've acquired this much, and let's just call it what it is, paper wealth, by the way, because, man, please, that money is not worth what it's printed on. You know what I mean? Because once Nixon got rid of the gold standard, shit, this ain't shit.
Glad you said that. Glad you said it.
Okay. Because, these someone so and so's worth $100 billion. Yeah, let them try to take it out of the bank.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Come on. No, I introduced it. Come on.
Me and April having a conversation. Money is not real. But what do you mean? I said, okay, let's say you're worth Jay-Z, right? And I think me and Ade had this conversation too.
Yeah. Okay. Let's take it.
He go into the bank, get a withdrawal slip, right? I won $750 million in 20. Them motherfuckers are like, yeah.
They would laugh at him.
Now what they and this is another reason that you can consider money not real. They'll give you a Amex Black card, and you can spend that motherfucker till the numbers were off the card.
Yeah, you can buy a house, car, everything. Mm-hmm.
But cash, nah.
Yeah.
Nah.
See, money, Ade, money is like energy, okay? And if you've ever studied physics, which I never did, so I'm not going to come across like a know-it-all, but energy is transferred, man. You know, it is transferred from one perception to another. Money is the same thing. And you know what? Where I was really schooled cinematically, you know, after I was schooled with Scarface, because that's, man, that let me know the grittiness of it. But I was the only, matter of fact, I took my stepsister, 85, when Wall Street came out. Gordon Gekko, man, he said, money is not lost or made. He was trying to school Charlie Sheen, Bud Fox. Money is not lost or made. It's just transferred from one perception to another. He said, like magic. He said, you got people out there wondering, you know, or thinking about the price of a paper clip. He said, we decide the price of a paper clip. And this is what really, like, it was like, pow. Like, I'm going to sing a song for you, you know, Fat Albert. But he said, after he said the price of a paper clip, he was like, buddy, he said, either you're a player or you're not. He said, and I'm not talking about some $400,000 a year working Wall Street stiff, flying first class and being comfortable. He said, I'm talking about liquid.
Yep.
Rich enough to have your own jet. He said, rich enough not to waste time. Man, he said $50, $100 million. Because, you know, back in 85, that was, you know, he said $50, $100 million. He said a player. He said, or nothing. Brother, that stuck with me. That's probably why I had so many kids, man. Like, look, if my quiver is full of arrows, shit, I'm going to be shooting. Pow, pow. Pow, pow, pow. Long after I'm gone, Take Key will still live on. Believe that. Yeah. Believe that. I can go right. I mean, man, like, and look, I always knew, even as a kid, I would have at least 4. I knew that because I was the only child. So it's like, my kids are never going to be alone, you know? But, man, I didn't count on, you know, yeah, man. Well, hey, like he said, you're going to be a player or you're going to be nothing. You know what I mean? But that he was really schooling them. And he even gave him an opportunity, Steve, to get out. Like, okay, you ain't built for this. But he wanted in. He was hungry. And that's why, man, your product will be somebody that's hungry. And, man, people say they hungry sometimes, Steve, but you can tell when somebody's hungry. Like Leo Cohen, you know, when Irv took him, you know, to the spot, and DMX, he had just got beaten down, and his, you know, mouth was wired shut like Kanye. And, man, he just buried everybody else that was hungry because he was really hungry. And that's why Leo said, we got the pick of the litter. But he said that, you know, after he got out. But, you know what I mean? Like, you know people that are hungry, man. Like, it's a look in their eyes. You know what I mean? It's a determination. Like, Kanye, he didn't give a fuck who was trying to hold him down. This is what the fuck he was going to do. Yeah, I'm going to make y'all beats, but this is what I'm going to do. You know what I mean? And I think that when you really, like they say, I mean, when you really find your passion, man, like you just go all in, man, balls deep. And it has to be something that you're willing to do for free. And that's how you monetize it, because you're getting your passion out. This is what I want to say. If nobody hears it, you know what I mean?
Right.
If nobody hears it, like this is what we, and I'm telling you, Steve, even if we rock parties, man, and you know what I mean, like even you promoted parties that we had artists at, like, man, we just have to have a product that you can promote. Man, my daughter, did I tell you about my daughter? Man, my daughter, she's 14. She's going to be 15 next week. dude, she played me some shit because I was wondering where my talent was gonna go to. The boys, they're not interested, you know, and man, she got some heat. So I'm gonna say, because remember, you and I, we were already talking about, you know, like there's only so much I can handle, you know what I mean, production wise, but you know, the Hitmen, you know, wait, what was another? Man, it's right there. The Hitman and the Bomb Squad. I'm telling you, man, my daughter, dude, like she fucked me up, man. She's 15, and me and her gonna start hanging out more. You know what I mean? Like we already hang out, but I'm just saying, like, she played me 3 tracks, man, that she fucking made herself. I'm telling you, it's fucking heat, man. I'm just like, wow. Because you know the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Because you know what? What our day's doing now is you.
No, this is something else. Okay. So it started. I can't remember how it started, but it started with a conversation. He was like, he wanted to get the program Logic.
Okay.
That time. And I'm like, yeah, let's get the shit. Yeah, let's get it. You know, got the drum machine. Whatever. You know.
Yeah.
Took to it like a fish to water. I remember, I think it was Thanksgiving. My brother and they were in the basement recording music.
Okay.
And then Keywan heard it, and so Keywan was like, "Hey man, I need your son to come over here to help me mix down or do something, right?" I mean, what was it I did? What did you do with him?
It was mixed down, but it was also he needed me to show him how to sample in Logic.
Okay, so he came to me like, "Man, is it cool if Ade come through and help me do this?" So, so when you say the apple don't fall far from the tree, I was never a producer. I never did that. So he has something that I never did have. You know what I mean?
Still ear though.
I think that, you know, the ear for music is there.
Yeah.
But I can't say he got the shit he doing is something totally.
You know what? Our kids are supposed to take, you know, what we give them, and they're supposed to build off of it. You know what I mean? What you got, which is a lot. You know what I mean? Like, you know, our day is supposed to do that. I'm gonna show you this real quick. It's gonna be real quick. Look at this. Let me turn it up.
That's your door?
Yeah. And she was 13 at the time.
Okay.
As an NPC?
Yeah. I mean, she just got it, man. She took to it like a fish to water, man. It was crazy. And that was the first time, like, you know, because I had my little, you know, setup, you know, this, you know, for me. And she came like, "Dad, what's this?" You know, I'm like, "Oh, this is a sampler, da da da." And she was like, "Oh, so, you know, it means that you can put sounds in it." I mean, she already had it. I was like, "Well, yeah, you want to, you know?" I just turned it on, loaded the sounds, man. She just, I mean, crazy. So I definitely have to develop that, man. Definitely have to develop. Because you just know when somebody has it. You know what I mean? Like, she just got it. And she's into drawing and, you know, all of that. So anyway, it just runs all through my family, man.
What's she now? You said 15?
She'll be 15 next week.
Okay.
Yeah, she'll be 15 next week. Yeah. And like I said, she, you know, man, she's just, I mean, like, I want to nurture that part, you know, like, okay, wait, there's something here because she's the baby, you know what I mean? None of the other, they understand music and they like music, but she's able to play it, you know what I mean? So that's what I'm going to nurture. And look, like with Ade and you, man, she's gonna take it to another level, man. I already know. Like I can pass, like after I train her, and I can pass that baton to her, man. You know what I mean? Like, and not right away, but you know what I'm saying? Like, as far as like, because look, what I would really love to do is like, because we spring break now, summer's coming up. Like for the summer, just like, I see her all the time, but like now that I know, like, oh, wait a minute, I need to set up something and then teach her some techniques, man. She could be in her junior year charging economy, $100 a beat. To anybody want to get on, you know what I mean? She could have her own money, that could be her own revenue stream. Because, I mean, think about it, like, all right, as a producer, do you want a license? Do you want, your royalties, which you're going to have to wait for? You know what I mean? Or, are you doing this on love? With her, you know what I mean? Like, she could, wow. Yep, this is yours. Take it. Run my money. Okay. You know what I mean? So it's always, opportunity, man. You know what I mean? You just gotta look for it. But you really don't have to look for it because we're destined to do what we're supposed to do, Steve. This was destined. I would have never thought, man, you and I, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, we would be doing this. I would have never thought about it. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, because to me, it's like, I knew, for me, it's like, damn, what happened to Steve? It's like, I wasn't, like I still have some shit I need to work on. But our reconnection, man, I don't know if you know this, but like we just picked up where we left off, man.
When that day you called me, I think we talked for like 3 or 4 hours.
Yeah, 4 hours. Yeah. And usually men don't talk that long, okay? You talking to somebody on a regular basis that long, but no, me and your father, like 4 hours, man. And look, we was taking calls. Look, this is the thing, me and your dad, we talked 4 hours, dog, straight. But he was taking calls, from his wife, and I was taking calls from my woman, and, I'm going to call you back, dog, I. But 4 hours, we chopped it up. And look, and we weren't even done. Look, you had somebody coming through, and it's like, to me, man, that was an encouraging day, for me, because I kind of felt like, I don't know, man, like, should I, like, what should I do? You know what I mean? Like, because I'm, working, of course, and all that. But, man, that was just like, that's why it just flowed out, homie. It just flowed out, like, And I wasn't trying to overtalk you. But, man, everything we talked about, man, in that conversation, like, it just, man. And just even, to me, what it was a correlation of what I knew about you. It's like, this is a cool dude, but it's like, we're filling in the blanks now and filling in the cracks, because both of us was there. You know what I mean? Until I got religious.
We was there, but we carved out our own thing.
Yeah.
But it never overlapped. But it was just for both of us to, do this, do that. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't even remember when we were at 200 West. I don't remember where you were, like where you were located. I don't even remember like what part of the building you were in. Straight up, I don't. Because where I was by Mary Maldonado, it was a wall. Juanez was right there, and then Michelle. I don't know if you remember Michelle.
I do.
Michelle Juanez, and then Vita Catledge. Yeah. And then if I go around the corner, I'm gonna hit Anita Terrazas, and then I'm gonna hit George. They were like around that. Yeah. And then the rest, I don't. It's like, and then if I go around the other way, you got Bobby Fenton was over there, Monique was over there.
Yeah.
But I could never really picture. And then the computer people like Cynthia and them, they had like a little room.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I could never. I could say where you were. I don't remember where you were.
I'm everywhere, man. I'm everywhere all the time. Because you know what? Matter of fact, this is how I got around the way I did. Because when we first when we first moved, because we were at Daily Center, so we moved to 200 West, and they just, you know, like, okay, you're gonna sit here, you're gonna sit here. They put all of us in the room. Me, Sandra Bailey, Bobby, Lisa, Lamont. I think even Gerald was in there, and Evelyn Lala. So it was 7 motherfuckers, man. And so look, I was seeking my, like, you know, I need to get away from these motherfuckers. So that's how I learned, because we had the 7th floor, I think, and the 9th floor, and because 9th floor was administration, and we had the stairs that went to 7 to 8. Man, I navigated the shit out of that. Like, you know, and do you remember Julie Hull? Well, I'm sorry, shouldn't name names, but there was a certain well, I already named it, but there was a certain attorney.
I don't remember her.
Well, she became a doctor. Well, she was a white girl, you know. I came from California, so you know that's who I'm connecting with. But anyway, she used to let me, you know, when she used to go to court, or you know, when she wouldn't be in, like, she would let me, you know, lamp in her office, man. And that's when they had smoking offices you can go into and smoke, you know, your cigarettes and shit. And so, you know, I would just be off in the cut, man. Like, but I would be around. You know what I mean? Yeah. I really would. But being in that box with 7 motherfuckers, no. That wasn't, and I sat all the way at the back. And that's where Lamont, he kind of, you know, he tried to climb me like, yeah, I saw you come in with this big-ass Bible, and you wouldn't talk to nobody, and you were just studying. And it's like, yeah, because, you know, I mean, man, it was just like, it was too claustrophobic for me. And I'm not claustrophobic, but it's like, wait a minute. All these personalities, somebody needs to take a break, and it was me. So, you know, I would, you know, go to an office or go to another floor. And then when I made it up to administration, it was really on. You know what I mean? It was really on. And okay. I've always been the hand up Mona Lisa's skirt, man, that puts a smile on her face. I don't need no recognition. You don't need, you know what I mean? Like, if you see me, you see me. Like, if I know you, I know you. But look, when I see television cameras on the sidewalk, you know, WGN and ABC, I duck or go around there. I don't want to be, you know, because once you get, you know, in the public eye, like, there's a lot of scrutiny, and, you know, I do my dirt all by my lonely, you know? Right. So, you know what I mean? But, you know what I mean? Like, and the same daughter that you saw on the thing, dog, ask me why, man, and this is rhetorical. She sent me 444, man, by Jay-Z, like 2 years ago. And she was like, Dad, I want you to listen to this. Now, I don't know if you're familiar. You familiar, Ide, with the single? You, Steve? Yep. 444? Man, and she, you know, she was right here at where I'm sitting right now. She was sitting right there. She was like, Dad, I want you to listen to this song. When she played that shit, nigga, I had to choke back the tears. Like, is this what you saying? Like, is this what I'm doing? Like, you know, you know, and just like, am I neglecting you? But we're doing a lot better because, dog, how does a fucking 14-year-old send you Ed OG and the Bulldogs be a father to your child?
Man, look, I'm gonna say this, bro. I think we all fall short in that
you're right.
Category. And for your daughter to even know Ed OG and the Bulldogs, to me,
that's why I was tripping.
Yeah, you know, for her to even know that was meaning something.
Yeah, man. I was like, wait, I was listening to this back when I knew Steve and didn't really know Steve. Man, she be hitting me with old school joints, man. And so that's what I mean, like the 20-year cycle, dog. Like, you know, these youngsters, and I'm not talking about all youngsters, because I feel you when you say like this new, like I get the Apple Music, you know, email, like this is, you know, this week, this is what's coming out. Man, I don't see nothing on there that I want to listen to because it's repetitive. And to me, there's not any real depth to it. It's just music. They're just pushing music out there. You know what I mean? But, man, when Wayne and him released their albums, you know, on the same day, I listened to both of them motherfuckers back to motherfucking back. And
I
both
did
of them opened up.
What Kanye and Drake did.
Yeah.
Kind of caught. I caught that. Those two releases.
Yeah, because I mean, like you have to. They trying to sell records, man. They're trying to sell, and so put this person against this person. You know what I mean? And both of them are going to sell. Great marketing.
Yeah.
Great marketing. Yeah. Because I'm telling you, and you know what I loved about the albums with Wayne and M is like the first track, man. They just came out the gate, dog. I'm talking about 72 bars, man, just going in. Beat. I think they knew exactly how to bring you in, so you'll see what else they got. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember at one point, they had really took a liking to Eminem, and I can't remember what album it was, but remember he had that one talking about Christopher Reeve.
I remember that one.
Yeah, that was Relapse.
Relapse.
Yeah. Man, I tell you. Mm-hmm.
No, I'm just reminiscing.
When it comes to M, man, I'm sorry. That guy, I was listening to M getting prepared for this. You know what I mean? Like, 'cause I didn't know really what to expect, but I was playing, Business. I was playing, Criminal. That always, like, because it's that old school boom bap. Bum, bam, boom, boom, bam, boom, bam, boom, boom, bam. And M is just like, he's like fucking monkey dancing over that track. You know what I mean? But then, M gets it in with Business. Let's get down to business. I mean, man, please. Don't get me to start playing songs. I don't know if that's allowed, but, me and your father, we do that. Like, remember the first time you heard this, dog? And I'll just be like,
Yeah. Mm-hmm. What minute mark we at, Ade, or do you keep? How do you do it?
Let's see. 2 hours, 12 minutes.
Really?
Damn.
That's all? That's all? Okay. Well, I don't know how far you want to go, but man, just last week, I talked to my lady for 10 hours straight, man.
Damn.
Yeah, that's what I said. And before that, our limit was 7 hours and 27 minutes. So we broke that by, you know what I mean? Like, so, hey, man.
I think you talk about on the phone.
Yeah.
Man, you need to go and give her a key. And make that a face-to-face conversation, bro.
You know what, brother? You know what? And you know what? We're going to talk as men, like we always have been. I've been trying to give her a key, like, you over here, you might as well. Because, look, she knows she's going to have to give me one, so. But you know what? Nah, what it is that, man, when you find a real nigga, I mean a real brother, like, I don't know, man. Sometimes women, they just go through so much, man, finding the right one. Actually waiting to be chosen by the right one. Because that's the thing. Like, they got to deal with some bullshit until, a man actually chooses them. You know what I mean? And until then, like, they go out, have a good time, blah, blah, blah. But, man, when you're chosen, you know what I mean, by a man, if you used to these mealy mouth, spineless motherfuckers, like, when you see a real man, you can't even identify him. You don't even know what he looks like. Because you had this idea in your head that, like, a man's supposed to do this, a man's supposed to do this, a man's supposed to do this. How do you know? How do you know? And you know what? Any woman, man, that I'm with, if they can't have some empathy, I just can't, do it long term. She deserves a crown, but where is it now? Mama, listen. I'm sorry. No.
So, yeah, man. So, do you have to edit this down? Like, all the material, how do you do it?
I was just going to put it out how it is. I was,
Oh, okay. I didn't know if it was a time limit or, you had to, time frame, you know what I'm saying?
nah, I was only thing I was gonna do is probably throw some like compression on it. That way, cause some of the sounds coming through Duo kind of spike a little bit. So I'm gonna just make sure it's contained. But yeah, I'm gonna leave it how it is, free form.
Okay. Yeah, my computer is dead, so that means my light is out. You know what? I'm gonna turn over the overhead light. 1 second.
Okay.
But then I don't want no air to be on the. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
but
Okay, I'm sorry, fellas. I'm back.
Okay, I'm gonna step and turn on my overhead lights because my computer died and my light is dead. So let me turn on some lights over here.
All right, I'll keep our day occupied.
Okay.
So our day, your career path, man. What are you thinking about? Because you have a lot in you, like director, producer. You're gonna be part of the. Like I'm listening.
Honestly, still trying to figure that out. Music's always been there. This past semester, I've been taking a intro to web design class and using different programs I've never used before, like actually designing an app. And I really like it. Like it's like making music in a way, just the flow of it. And I've been getting good feedback as far as like what I've been doing. So it's like I want to take what I've been doing there and find a way to use that. So it's a lot of different things I'm interested in. So it's really finding something that encapsulates all of those, where I can, put all of them to use for one goal.
But primarily you're looking at entertainment.
Yeah.
Okay, and so secondarily, what do you have in mind?
I've actually been teaching myself how to code this past semester, JavaScript. So I've been really leaning into that. Is just as an idea, just to at least have the knowledge,
Yeah. Well, knowledge is power, man, as we have all heard. But Ade, this is something, man, that like I know so many people, man, that are degreed up, man. They got so many degrees, they could like register the temperature in the room, you know what I mean? But, eventually, you need to settle on something. And I'm not saying that directly to you. I'm just saying like to the people that I know, like they never settled on something. But it seems like you're extremely focused, man. And it seems like you have so much. It's like Superman, getting all of his powers at one time, and he had to hide in the closet because he heard so much. You know what I mean? Like, I know you're focused, man, because even this podcast, man, even this, what you're doing right now, man, this is like, me and your dad, this is why we can do this, because this is what we do. Like, we used to just sit up and, I remember I used to have a 4 or 6 pack of Slits. Remember when I was a malt liquor drinker, and we just be in there. Look, I had a fax machine back then. I thought I had me a little office set up, and, your father used to just come in and, like, man, we should just kick it. And, he would give me suggestions, and, he understood it like I was like a raw talent, you know what I mean? And, I hope, and that's all we have. Because, like, the audacity of hope. I've never read the book, but, man, when you got hope, you got everything. But if you don't have hope, man, you ain't got nothing. To me, go ahead, brother. Come on.
It's fun to mention that book. I got 4 copies of that book, all signed. Okay. I got, because where we got our haircut, me and Ade got our haircut, Barack used to come in there when he was state senator, U.S. senator.
Okay.
And he signed the books for us.
Okay. Yeah.
I got one one of my bookshelf downstairs. Miss Richmond has one. My mother has one. And I can't remember what the fourth one was. But yeah, when you said that name, Barry signed it for us, man. So yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because that's what I have, man. I'm telling you, if I didn't have hope, man, I wouldn't have, like sometimes, like just provisions. And like I was saying about money, being like just a tool, because I don't have love for it, because it's not supported by anything real.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm just, at the end of the day, man, I understand that, like, on paper, anything is possible. But musically, sonically, not everybody is able to create something that is long-lasting, that just stays in your heart, in your mind. And who knows, Ade, like, you might, be like your pops, and you might be the executive producer or the producer. Like, are you, have you dabbled around with beats or lyricism?
Yeah, both.
Really? Okay.
He got 3 projects out on Tidal.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. All right, cool. So, hey, man, I mean, the sky's the limit, dog, because you're young. But, if you hungry, man, opportunity's always going to be there. Always. You know what I mean? Like, and see, like I said, man, like musically, man, with you and I, just like with Philip Campbell, that's his name, Campbell. Like, okay. Him and I, we were on to something, man. Huh?
Did he used to date one of the ladies that worked in office without saying her name? I know you're talking about that.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Scrawny nigga, and kind of, yeah.
I know you're talking about.
Yeah. So, man, him and I was on some old Common, because I remember he was like Straight Pete at the time. And he was like the, what did he used to call it? The clairvoyant. Okay. But I just produced them. It's like, we made a demo and shit, like, man. And I remember he asked me to sample Rock On. Hey, Rock On. And I remember I mean? Like, we had a 2, but P, he was just like, I don't know, like P liked to, and before we did it, me at that time, I'm like, nah, let's get it finished and then let's, and yeah, he used to come over to the crib, man. Like, we used to come after work, and man, no. Let me say this. He introduced me and probably got me ready for your business acumen, because P, he had the lyrics, and then, the sax preacher thing. Remember the sax preacher? Man, yep. Cassius D. I was a DJ for him, and it was short-lived. It was like that. It was here, that, but I got to see the behind the scenes and all of that. And I was just always about, like, I want to put out, just like you're looking for a good product that you can promote. Yeah. I'm looking to give a good product that everybody will appreciate. And I'm not going to be that fucking complicated as far as like, well, it's not exactly to my liking. Man, fuck it. Put that shit out. You know what I mean? And then learn from that one, put out another one right behind it. That's what Cash Money did, man. Manny Fresh was banging them motherfuckers out, man. You know what I mean? And who had Beats by the Pound? Was that P? Beats by the Pound. That was who?
No Limit.
No Limit. That was Master P. So, man, I'm telling you, like, to have a team of hungry producers, Nasheem Myrick, you know what I mean? Stevie J before he became, Speed. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. But you know what? What's funny, man, about that? Yeah, since I'm here, I'm gonna go here. Stevie, he was always in the mix, man. Like, he was there when Big got shot. It was him and Puffy. You know what I mean? So it's like, obviously, this nigga is like really, in there like that. You know what I mean? And I remember the tight ass minks that 50 Cent said he would rob him. He said, I robbed Stevie J for them tight ass minks. When he was with Eve.
Yeah. I just watched a program, Uncensored, I think it's called.
Okay.
And he was revisiting all of that, all that stuff.
But he was right there, man. Like he was Puff's damn near. I mean, like he was always around. Like certain pictures that they get of Puff, and Big is like that nigga was there. Look, it's just like the first time I saw Hammer take a picture with Suge. I was like, wait a minute, Hammer's a dancer. He's from this nigga's affiliated. Like, dude, that's where you came in. That's where your father came in our day. Because I didn't know who the players were in the game. Your father has always known who the players are in the game. Always. Because I remember, I was pronouncing, okay, like you said, this is being recorded, but, I remember when I was like, Sugi? He's like, nah, it's Suge, nigga, it's Suge. Okay. Look, I know he's from the West Coast. I know he's out here making people uncomfortable. But he was like, and I remember your father used to get excited, not excited, but like passionate. Like, he'd be like, yeah, man, man, did you hear about he went to Miami and slapped the shit out of some nigga? I was like, no, I didn't hear that. You remember, Steve? I mean, when Suge was Suge?
Man, I was fascinated with that shit, man. I was. I mean, I had never,
we had never seen anything like that, man.
Puffy was Puffy was the one who I really patterned myself after. Yeah. Coming in because of the promoter and all, how he parlayed. Yeah. But when I got wind of this nigga,
just gravitated towards him. It was
I really, it was a book. I think it's called The Rise and Fall of Death Row.
Yeah, I seen that.
I read that book in one night. I started reading like 5:00 in the afternoon and read that book all night. I finished the book and I think it was like 300 pages. That's how. And it had pictures in the book, like so like 10 pages of pictures.
Yeah,
nigga, I read that shit all fucking in one night. That's how I was entrenched into that shit.
Yeah. And well, you definitely passed it on, man, because I got entrenched in that shit after you was like, man, you don't know what Suge doing out here? Like, you was putting me on, like, man, Suge is out here. I was like, okay, who is this Suge Knight? And man, so, dude, you can't even deny, man. Nobody can deny. When Suge did it, he did it. And you know what? Shout out to the big homie because, like, even though I didn't know him personally, like, to me, they felt like they had to put him away because, Suge was just Suge, man. You know what I mean? Then when I found out he played football and used to do security for Bobby Brown, I'm just like, oh, okay. To me, he earned his comeuppance. You know what I mean? But he was just a little bit too roughshod, for their liking. But when you think about the industry, they just didn't like the Suge. He wasn't finna be, hollering across from a conference room table. He was gonna do something about it. You know what I mean? Yeah. And you know what I mean? The way he got
in the parking lot.
Exactly, yeah. And I mean, like the way he got business done. And you know what? This right here, I may get in trouble for this later, but I'm gonna say it. The way Suge came in, like really powerful for me or to me, is like, man, when he got Dre out of that contract, man, like he had the hottest producer at the time, man. Mm-hmm. So it's like, Dre didn't leave with them masters though. But Dre should have known, like, but see, I think that even Suge wasn't Suge at that time. Suge was like Suge, the businessman, like, I'm trying to make something happen. I want niggas to get paid. You know what I mean? Like, fuck these labels, like, Death Row, you know what I mean? And it was Suge's tactics that Dre, didn't adhere to because Suge, he kind of did like MC Hammer when you think about it. Because MC Hammer, he was trying to feed the block. He was trying to feed the whole community he came from. Suge was trying to bring in the block into the business. Like, the block does not fit into the business, Suge. You know what I mean? So, but nevertheless, man, you can never take away from that man's accomplishments, man. Nobody knew that you could have a label, you know what I mean, and do 300 mil, man. Be worth 300. I mean, like, they was killing them, man. Doggy Style, I still play that shit, man. I work out to that shit. Boom, boom, boom. I mean, like, And like I said earlier, Daz Dillinger, man, you know, like all Suge had to do was pay him, man. But he finally got his money. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
he got
Snoop owning it now. I think that's a nice little, you know.
But you know, the only thing that really kind of puzzled me is why the Chronic isn't a part of the catalog in any of Tupac.
Yeah,
that's the only thing I'm like the negotiation piece of that. Like how did that happen? Can you renegotiate to get it back?
You know what? They did not have you on their team because I know you wouldn't negotiate the fuck out of that. And so would I, man, because when I found out, like, you know, even when Death Row finally, you know, okay, Suge is in, he ain't going nowhere. And, you know, when his catalog was up, I'm like, who's going to buy it? But then, like you said, when you heard Snoop on it, but he didn't get all of Death Row, I had a problem with that, too. I would have negotiated that differently.
Yeah. I mean, you know, and I'm sure Drake, and I'm going to say that if he owns his own catalog, he may not even own his catalog.
Right.
If he owns it, I'm sure he's not giving it up.
Nah.
But Tupac's estate, I don't know how they feel about it. About, you know, do you say, hey, you know, over 20 years we can make $50 million, or do you sell it to Snoop now for $40 million up front? You know. And then like Neil Diamond, all these artists are starting to sell their catalog.
Yeah, and because okay.
Yeah, so it's like, you know, fuck all that, you know, forever money. I need that shit now. I'm 75.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
I get $100 million now.
Yeah.
I'm taking $100 million. Fuck all that, you know, in 2050.
Yeah.
I'm not even to enjoying that shit. So, you know, I don't know what position his estate is in, like the financial standing of it, but they may be able to use it and infuse in the cash.
But what they're missing out on is the long-term, you know, in perpetuity licensing of it. You know what I'm saying? So that's what Bill Gates did, you know, to Steve Jobs. He licensed that shit. So you're right. And they're not selling their music, Steve. They're being acquired by a company in the UK. They're acquiring everybody's music. Darkchild, Timbaland, like, you know, they're trying to get Pharrell's catalog. Like, yeah, man, like and what is that company? Because like, you know, they came on my radar because it's like, wait a minute. Because I know if I had created all of this music, I wouldn't just be selling it for this, you know. And they're being acquired, man. It's a hostile takeover because they want to, just like Viacom, they just want to control the media and the music that goes along with the media. So they're just coming to them saying like, hey, we want to acquire your catalog. This is what we'll pay you for it. And you're right, brother. You're right. I'll meet you halfway with that. If you can cash out now for $150 million, why not? But if your catalog is worth $800 to $900 million, we got to meet somewhere in the middle, brother. We got to do at least 60-40 in my favor. You know what I mean? Like, that's where the negotiations come in. It's like, when you know what you're worth and you know what you have, like, the only reason R. Kelly still has a defense, you know, is because his catalog is worth a fucking $1 billion, you know? And he signed, you know, he had to sign his rights. So whoever owns his catalog now, I don't know, it's not my business, but that's how his defense is being paid for. So, you know, that's why Suge went to Dre's house when Dre decided to leave Death Row. Suge went there, you know, had to bring the homies, you know what I mean? And he got the masters back, period. Yeah. Because he knew that's where the money was, you know what I mean? Right. So like you said, for them to sell Death Row to Snoop, but not give him everything that came under Death Row, man, I know you would have negotiated the fuck out of that.
Yeah, because that don't make sense. It's like, well, why the fuck am I? You know what I'm saying? So basically I got the Dog Pound, I got Rage, I got RBX, I got me, a couple Above the Rim soundtrack, you know, a deep cover soundtrack.
Deep cover, yep.
I mean, that's nice, but the big shit, I need that.
Yeah. And did they give him the Chronic?
Huh?
Did they give Snoop the Chronic? Because the Chronic was on death row.
No, he don't have none of Dre shit.
Man. Look, I bet you Dre got that shit. Look, through a holding company.
Dre, I hope he got it.
He got that shit. He got that shit. Look, just like Jay got all the Rockefeller, man. Jay got all the Rockefeller. Because Def Jam already had, 45% of them, I think? 40% of them. They had 40% of them. And then Jay, gave him the rest, but Jay still owns it. He still has ownership in it. You know what I mean? So it was a good business deal.
I heard
it really was.
There was a problem with Reasonable Doubt, that album.
Oh, yeah. Because Jay's keeping that. That's his flagship, man. So as long as, and I don't even think Dame is fighting for Reasonable Doubt. But when you think about it, Dame was there for the creation of Reasonable Doubt. So he deserves a percentage. That's what I'm thinking. You know what I mean? Because, and Biggs, he ain't saying nothing because, he's a silent partner. But, you know what I mean? Like, Jay need to give him a couple of points off that album, man. Because, they created that together.
Okay. Let me
here comes the rebuttal.
No. Should an executive producer...
Mm-hmm.
How should an executive producer get paid, in your opinion?
Well, the executive producer, they're the one that's putting up the money, so they're going to get paid first before the producers and the writers and the artists. So they already, have the pot. That's the executive producer to me. So whatever's coming out of this pot to pay for the project, the executive producer, they already got theirs off the top. I mean, they're not skimming either. They were the executive producer. Like, I put up for this, I put the time in for this. So, anybody else that comes after the executive producer, like, that's up to the executive producer to adequately distribute.
Okay, let me say this. So, say you pump $1 million into the project, right?
Mm-hmm.
Definitely, the executive producer is going to get the $1 million back.
Yeah.
But let's talk forever money. Let's talk about points. Let's talk about royalties. You think they should be allowed to have that?
Okay. Well, as the executive producer, they're the ones that are initially involved in the contract. So the producers and the songwriters and the artists, they find out later what has already been negotiated by the executive producer and the lawyers and the label. So you get yours up front. And that's why you can play yours off like, what, y'all didn't get y'all's? Because, I got mine, But I'm serious, like, no, as an executive producer, you're the one that's orchestrated. It's like being a showrunner. Like, you know all of the moving pieces, you know what I mean? And your fingers are in all the pies. So if anybody is going to get paid, it's going to be an executive producer. And that's why. Okay.
Let me clarify, because I don't want to sound like I don't know what the responsibilities are. Let me say this.
Oh, yeah, I know. Okay.
Legally, morally, do you think, I know legally an executive producer can get money off of a record, legally, yeah, because like you said, you negotiate, what the parameters are. Hey, this is that, this is this. But what I'm saying from a morality position, do you think it's right for an executive producer to, I don't want to say eat off of the work of the artist? Now, I understand you get your money that you put in back.
Mm-hmm.
And put a little cherry on it. You know what I mean? So if I pumped $1 million in, okay, I want 1.5 back. Mm-hmm. So I'm cashed out. I'm good on this project. I'm not saying you got to sign your shit. I mean, do you think it's right for them, the artists, have to sign their publishing rights?
No.
Or share publishing with with the executive producer who ain't played a tambourine on the fucking album. He ain't wrote one lyric, or your boy Puffy, take that. Yeah. Okay, so now you get 15% of the royalty because he just said that? I mean, I'm saying like that. How do you feel about that?
I hear you. Well, that's what contracts, are for. And, I've been working for a defense firm for 34 years. They sue each other just for clarity. You know what I mean? I used to take lawsuits offensively, like, I'm being sued, and I've never been sued, but I've seen plenty of lawsuits fly around, and it's just for clarity. So when it comes to, okay, you put $1 million in, you got 1.5 back. If that's what you negotiated, then yes, that's all you get. Morally and ethically, for you to try to renegotiate, that contract because the record is high, it's like ethically it's questionable. Morally, it all depends on if you're greedy for money and you have love for money or not. And let me delve deeper and let me double down on that one. See, contracts, that is what determines whether you guys should be in a business relationship, because that's why negotiations take a long time sometimes, especially when you're doing big business. You know what I mean? And you have to come to the table. You know what I mean? And okay, this is what you're saying. This is what I'm saying. It's just like when the ASME and SEIU, when they negotiate, it's not just we come into the table. This is what we want. This is what you want. It's done. No, it's okay, this is what you say. Oh no, this is what we want. This, and then you go away. You consider, are they asking too much? Are we asking too much? But more often than not, the artist is just asking for a little bit, more money or another point or another half a point. So that can be negotiated. But once you sign your name, that you're just gonna, okay, I put $1 million in this. And I don't expect, which really that's a good comeuppance. You know what I mean? Like you put in $1 million, you got 1.5 back. That's good. So you shouldn't expect anything back unless in your contract it says, well, if this thing really blow and we get diamond, then, I get a few points off of that. So that's where good lawyers come in. But I don't think that.
No, go ahead, finish.
So I don't think that any artist or producer that had a good attorney has gotten caught up in that. But sometimes we focus too much on the art, but it is called show business. It is the industry. Anytime you even say a word like industry, it means like this is something that's been going on for a long time. You're not going to come in with your new age way of thinking and things should be done like this and done like that and change the game. What you have to do is navigate the game. You know what I mean? It's just like, people that don't understand that dolphins are really predators. They're just looking at the great whites and they're looking at the orcas, the killer whales, but dolphins are predators. They look like they got a smile, but they're about business. They'll eat your ass with them little bitty ass teeth. So when it comes to the industry, man, like, if you have somebody on your team, and that's why you're only as strong as your team, like your team, somebody in your team is going to recognize, this is some bullshit. You should walk away, but if you just got your homeboy, that you grew up with or something, yeah, man, sign that. Let's get this advance. You know what I mean? No.
So let's use DMX example.
Okay.
When Leor, when they found him, in an abandoned project, windows busted out, no electricity, right? And Leor was on the pick of the litter, right?
Right.
Immediately, he looked at DMX as a victim. I'm gonna take advantage of this motherfucker. Yeah, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give him this contract to sign that's so fucked up and heavily in my favor. And I'm going to do it because I know he don't have no team. This nigga is going to do whatever I tell him to do for this $50,000 cash that I got in my hand. I got a pen. I got $50,000 and a contract that's telling him he has no ownership in his product. I have all ownership. This $50,000 is the only money this nigga is going to see unless he goes diamond.
Yeah.
DMX is gonna sign that contract.
Yeah.
That's happening. When I say morally, is it morally feasible for Leor to even present him with some shit like that? That's what I'm saying. Like,
well, at the time, that was the music.
I get what you're saying.
The very first contract that you get signed, you signed to a major label. You think your first contract is not going to be fucked up? They gonna get you just in case you don't work out. They're a bank and they loaning you money.
I get that.
Good.
I get that. But to me, there's levels of fucked up. So it could be real fucked up, super fucked up, or it could be kind of fucked up or a little fucked up. But when you know you can take advantage of a person as the DMX ain't got no motherfucking electricity in the place that he live. He ain't got no windows in the place that he live. We can put the super fucked up contract in front of him. Super fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Give him $50,000. This nigga's gonna look at that $50,000 like it's $500 million because he ain't got shit.
Exactly.
He'll sign anything we put in his motherfucking face for this $50,000. But what I'm saying is, why would you even? I know it's standard practice. I get all that. Okay. But what I'm saying is, it's fucked up. That to even take advantage. I'm sure somewhere in the Bible it tell you don't take advantage of motherfuckers because you know you can't.
Yeah. You know what? I think it was on the tour that Jay and DMX went on with Redman and Method Man and
backstage.
Backstage. Yeah. It was Kevin Liles, Leor, and, you know, Leor said, we're just all a bunch of greedy motherfuckers. Like, that was and I was like, when I heard that, man, it was like, yo, they are raping the game. They are taking advantage of people. And that's why Dane called him out as a culture vulture, because Leor, man, he, you know, in his culture, that's what they do. You know what I mean? And... You know, like Dane, I mean, just him saying that, we're all a bunch of greedy motherfuckers. And he had his arm around Kevin Liles, and I think he had Jay on this arm. I mean, yo, that says it all to me, man. Like, it was just about money. It was about the love of money. It was about how much money can you get. I remember when Leor was on the Breakfast Club, man, and he did a whole interview, man. He had the platinum Rolex on his arm. He said, I can walk down the street right now. And, you know, I don't have no security or anything, you know, because everybody knows me. Like, can you imagine Leor, with your group, by the way, brother, with your group, he came up with Run DMC now. He was a roadie or road manager, you know, because Russ was putting him on because, you know, Russ was doing this, you know, creating this label with Rick Rubin. So Leor, you know, of course, they got to come in and, you know, kind of regulate niggas. And, you know, that's how Leor went on the road with Run DMC. And before we knew it, he was in charge of Def Jam. Mm-hmm. And he was revered, but he was never feared. Because, you know, it's like, you know, okay, somebody is planted here, you know what I mean, to regulate us. But they're not part of our culture. That's what Dane called him out on. And that's why Dane won that one. But Leor, you know what I mean, like the Beastie Boys, you know, that's another, you know, like, that's a whole nother subject. But, you know, they got on because they was riding off of Run DMC's coattails. Because their music, well, first of all, what they said, their lyricism, forget about it. It wasn't on par. But they had the beats because they were influenced by Rick Rubin. Look, there's a lot of money to be made. Let's make this money. Because Def Jam, they made their bones on I Need a Radio. That's where they made their bones. Man, I remember in California, and I was even like, you know, talking about giving back. That's when I was dealing with people that were in group homes. And what I mean by that, like, I would hang out with them, you know, like, I'm entitled. So it's like, I'm trying to get back. Man, the first time I heard radio was in a group home. Somebody had a cassette. When that shit dropped, dog, I'm like, yo. And later on, when I found out how hungry L was, when he would call, you know, every day Rick Rubin, and, you know, like, he was trying to get on. Little did we know he was affiliated with Jam Master Jay, you know, because he was from Queens. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Queens. So, you know, he knew the original Alpo and the original, you know, he was like, all them stories you hear about, you know, like LL got beat down. Cause I remember hearing that all the way in California. LL, you know, when he started to get on, like, you know, he tried to flex in front of somebody. Somebody was trying to challenge me, he got beat down. He's like, man, don't believe that. You know, like LL was in because like from the childhood that he came from, the streets made sense. You know what I mean? And that's why he knew them. And this is the first nigga to get on. When you really think about it, because Sugar Hill, like they were just hired help. But LL, he actually, you know, had the goods. So
Right.
he just piggybacked off of Run DMC and Jay, man. R.I.P. to Jay, man. R.I.P. to Jay. That would
Yeah.
hit me, man. R.I.P. to Jay, man. Because it's like, I didn't know how G he was, man, until he was gone, bro. For real. I didn't even know. Like, I knew that he had, like, that edge. Because, you know, Run, you know, like, and I mean, but Jay, he just had a different, to be a DJ and a producer, man, and to be clipped where you produce music, man, like, and I got so much to say about that, but I don't want to say it. But let me just say this. To me, it's not haphazard that 50 got signed to Aftermath, well, Shady, technically, after that happened. That's all I'm saying. That's all
Okay.
I'm saying.
Yeah, I can, you
That's
know,
too a coincidence for me.
I got you. Yeah. So when I say Run DMC changed the paradigm, right, as far as the presentation, I should clarify Jam Master Jay did that because I don't know if you've seen any early pictures of Run and D, but them niggas was in Argyle sweaters. You know what I'm saying? They was doing that prep thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's like, nah, y'all niggas got to dress like Jay. You know what I'm saying? Jay he was in the streets, right?
Yeah.
And it's funny how the hip hop culture or the presentation, the look, right, was derived from the street culture.
Right.
Somebody said hip hop is the only culture where you can get a room full of dope dealers and a room full of rappers, and each group wants to be the other group.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think everything that the presentation of it, the look of it, it's rooted in the streets. You know what I'm saying? And I you know, I don't know how initially it started with them guys wearing, you know, the headdresses and the leather belts and the studs and stuff, but you know, I'm glad it did take its turn. I think disco, the absence of disco birthed hip hop or rap music, and when it left that void, the groups that came after kind of, I think they still have the energy. And I don't know, it was weird. Like, what the fuck is this shit? Like, you know, when you look at old Africa Bambaataa stuff and, you know, just the different earlier pictures and stuff. It's like, it never made sense to me, you know? Never made sense to me, man. So, and I think what they say, the same thing that make you laugh is the same thing that make you cry. And the way it was rooted in the streets then, it's still rooted in the streets now, but now it's kind of like, you know, I was listening to an interview last night. FBG Duck.
Yeah.
He was doing an interview about, I can't remember this guy's name, but it's with these niggas, they don't even, I mean, it's like, man, it's like, damn, you know, you figure you get a couple $100,000. You supposed to be enjoying yourself, man. You supposed to be having a good time, but these motherfuckers are really not liking each other at all, to the point that, you know, we see how the murder thing is going.
Right.
And the violence is being perplexed and shit. So it's like, I don't know, man.
I'm back. I'm sorry, fellas. But, you know, when people talk about, you know, how people look back in the day, it's like we had to usher this hardcore era in. Because, you know, when hip hop first began, as far as MCs, like, you know, they, you know, was just telling, you know, about how they looked or what they had. But then it became about substance. You know what I mean? And I remember PE was like the first one, man, like, because, you know, it used to be about flossing and wearing your jewels, but then it became about the black medallions, you know what I mean? The black, you know, black, red, and green medallions and X-Clan, man. Like, hip-hop had to go through the studded suits. It had to go through, because, look, I'm just like you, bro. Trust me, Steve. Sometimes I look at, and we're looking at it where it became what it became to where it came from. Because you're right. The studded suits and the everywhere. Like, it seems like, you know, but it started in the hood. And like you said, that's why I excuse myself right there. It came from the street, man. So there's a street element to it that should always remain, you know, or else it's not real, authentic hip hop. Because if it's just commercialized, you know, and just, I mean, like, artists like Talib Kweli, like, Backpacker, like, he wants to keep it. He does not want to commercialize it, even though he has benefited from the commercialization of it. So with that said, I mean, it was shitted on from the beginning. This is a passing phase, like disco. But no, it was a force from the very beginning. And it was free from the very, very beginning. Kool Herc just had to speak. He just heard something, felt something. You could put his speakers in the window, you know what I mean? And just let everybody else enjoy what he had heard. That is where hip hop started. From somebody that heard something, they just heard something like, you know, this is, you know, and then the break beats. And even before MC and started, it was about the beat. It was about how music, the music that they were playing, the break beats and the scratches and the cuts, how it made them feel. And it made us feel like, you know, even though I'm on, you know, even before Section 8, I'm poor. I'm hungry sometimes. Like, I'm not able to provide, but, you know, I'm able to come to this spot. And this music is just, you know, I love when people say, like, where were you the first time you heard hip hop? And it's like, I'll never fucking forget it. Like, it was, I was here, I was there. You know, everybody has their story when the first time you heard it and it just resonated with you. It just became a part of you. You know what I mean? It just, you know what I mean? Like, this is it. Like, okay, pop, R&B, rock, all that, that's going to remain. But this genre of music is for me. And that's why even though the media and everybody said it was going to be a passing phase, no. This became an industry. An industry. For us, by us. Remember when FUBU was up? But go ahead. No, you got something right there, bro.
You was like, you was like the first time you. I remember playing football, Little League football, and hearing Rappers Delight, and it was like okay. But when I heard the breaks, Curtis Blow, that nigga said, "You borrowed money from the mob," and that's the day you lost your job.
Lost your job.
Like, oh
my God. Woo. Man, and that song, he literally did like a Good Times. He pointed to everything that could go wrong. But he said, these are the Braves. Break it up, right? I mean, like you said, you borrowed some money from the mob. It's like, and later on, you lost your, I'm like, oh, shit. Like,
man.
Wow.
So that was the one that really, I mean, like I said, I heard Rappers Delight. I heard it. I heard it.
We all heard it, yeah. It was like
but when I heard that one,
yeah,
those lyrics had more substance than Rappers Delight.
They did. Mine was,
you know, all that. It was cool, yeah. But this nigga tell
Mine in the same vein, because they came out at the same time, man. Mine was the message. Like,
Yeah.
that's when it just fucking karate kicked me in my jaw, man, and headbutted me. I mean, because they just talked about, I mean, it's like, that's the first time you had heard something like that on a record. Or at least me, you know, don't push me, cause I'm close to. What? What edge? Like, nigga, I mean, that's when you first found out the ad-libs and the overdubs. It's like, how did he know to say, You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, oh. That's why the first time your dad asked me, you got overdubs on this? I was like, I didn't even know what an overdub was, but I tried to play it off.
What
I
was the
found
first
out later what the overdub was, huh?
Hey, for you, what was the first song you remember, like, that you can remember?
Yeah, I did.
There's two that come, I remember early. It was Know the Ledge, Eric B. and Rakim
Yeah, that's a good one.
from watching Juice. And
Yeah.
Still Dre from watching Training Day.
So hold on, I got to tell you this one. So when he was 1, 2, Training Day, like, say we in the crib and I need to go. Let's say I need to go run the kitchen and do something and go do this. I put on Training Day.
The movie.
The movie. He would move. I knew he would. I know he'd be cool. You know what I'm saying?
That's cool.
So he came up with that kind of. My mother was like, I don't think he should be watching.
I know. That's mama's. That's mama's. Yeah. Man, the first time I heard the message that kind of, you know, broke my hymen. Like, I was like, after I heard that, because it was just like, and they were talking about some real shit. That's probably the first rap song that I heard where I listened to the lyrics. Because the beat to me was like, oh, okay, you know, I get this. Okay, they borrowing that. But what are they saying? After that, man, it just took off for me. Like, you know, to me, it's like a transition between loving the music and, like, if you're going to be musically in it, like, you go from loving the music to trying to create it, you know, DJing it, like playing it, and then you move to producer, DJ Scratch. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that brother, I mean, like, he came out the gate, man. And I want to say this, that when you're meant to be musically influential when it comes to hip hop, you just know it early on. Just like you, Steve, with, you know, your business sense when it comes to the business, like, you just knew it, man, from the beginning. Like, you were always that guy that, like you said, I can't play, I can't, you know, write, or I can't, you know, I don't want to perform, even though you got bars, You know, your dad got bars, right? But you knew your lane. And, man, like you said, all you need is a good product, and all you need is just, like, something to believe in, man, or just something to do for fun. Shit. Look, we getting older, man, you know what I mean? So, shit. If I bring a beat to you, or album to you, or artist to you, it's like, okay, how you want to do this, Steve? You know?
Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, yeah, man. You know, yeah. I can say that. I could do that. It's just running around the city, you know, club, listening to this nigga rhyme and all that type of shit.
You reminded me of Brown Sugar. Remember that with Tate Diggs and Sanaa Lathan?
Yeah, and most was in the most definitely in that too. Yeah, because he was Cabby. Cabby.
You know what I mean?
The Dalmatians.
Yeah, he was Cabby.
Hip Hop Dalmatians.
This is Ren and 10. It's like, no, I'm 10. No, you're Ren. He was like, look, and Tate Diggs, he was like, yeah, you know, they can make a single like The Bitch Is Mine. He was like, now that's a good idea, Drake. I'm like, nigga, what?
And then them niggas was I forget his name, the record label owner.
Yeah.
I love him. He's one of my greatest underrated actors in history.
Yeah, he is. I agree. Well, Wendell Pierce, that's his name.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, after Tech Dig kind of stopped the session, He said, okay, let's pick it up from that second hole.
Exactly. Oh man. Dre was like, I'm out. If you sign these, you sign these niggas? Like, like, nah, Yo, nah. The industry's not like that anymore.
Let's start wrapping it up. But we had a conversation that we didn't finish.
Okay.
Dame and Jay. You were asking me.
Yeah.
Do you remember the question?
You know what? Let me think about it. You know what? I think we handled that because,
Okay.
basically my take on it is that, like I said, Def Jam had already owned 40% of Rockefeller, and out of that 60% is 30. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's 20 each. Jay somehow convinced Biggs to, side with him, so now they got 40. Dame was forced out. You know what I mean? And Dame knows what happened. Jay knows what happened. And then, since Jay, forced him out, then he got everything. You know what I mean? And you know what? At the end of the day, he did kind of do his boy dirty, but brother, you know what? I can go back to New Jack City with this one. When Nino Brown told Ice-T's character, when Ice-T's character, found out that he had killed his mama, it's like, brother, it's always business, never personal.
Yeah.
And that's what it was with Jay and Dame, man. Like, Dame, yes, they did. And then that's why even the last one that you sent me, Jay basically, man, was saying to me, and to the public at large that, Dame didn't see the changing tide, man. Dame, he was saying it was a fucked up hustle, but he's still in the hustle, We're wrapping up anyway. Hey, sweetheart.
So, yeah. I think
Okay. Well, just come
when
up
you
to
look what happened, like what broke them up, what caused the problem, and I think when you have
what?
Like Suge said, if you want to come to a label where the executive producer ain't dancing all the videos,
Right.
How far are you away, E.T.?
and Dame was kind of doing that shit. Like he be popping the bottles on the yacht, you know what I mean? And I think he enjoyed the attention that he got.
Yeah, like you said, man. Okay. Dame was just like, he didn't pivot, man, with the economy. He didn't pivot with, like, this is the direction it's going with or without you. See, Dame thought just because he was 1/3 of it that he could control the momentum of it. But no. And, when they said he was broke, now that's the part I didn't like. Because how are you part of a $300 million company and go broke? I mean, at least you got, if they break you down to the break path, at least you got 10 mil. Dame is not broke, but Jay, he took it all. And, I think that morally and ethically, probably not the best thing. But at the same time, like you said, Steve, Dame, he was feeling himself. He was the executive producer, all in the videos, dancing, you know what I mean? Remember that? Bang, 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 bang. I can't do it right. Bang, 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 bang. But Dame wanted fame, and Dame got fame. But Jay wanted the money, and that's why Dame lost that one. He lost that one, straight up. Because Dame didn't even see it coming, man. That's the thing. It's like, you don't think that all of this flossing and everything is not going to catch up with you? You know what I mean? And I know he's not broke because, he's, oh my God, every Dame Dash video that I say, I'm sorry, that I flipping. Well, when do you just stack enough where you can retire and enjoy your kids' day? But Dame is all about the hustle, man. He doesn't know how to do anything else but hustle. You know what I mean? And sometimes, when you get to the point where you got enough money, I mean, really, because the word says a good man leaveth an inheritance to his children's children. You know, and if you're doing that, and matter of fact, I believe the limit is like, let's just say 5 mil. Just say you get 5 mil. But matter of fact, since we bosses, let's make it 10. Out of that 10 mil, to live on that for the rest of your life, you actually could. Because you could live off the interest alone. But sometimes when you reach a certain status, that greed comes in and you just want more, and you want more, and you want more, and you want more. And you never get to the place where, you know, enough is enough. You know what I mean? Like, it becomes about the hustle, and it becomes about the game. And for Ade, for me and your dad, we have children. You know, your dad's married. I hope to be married soon. And it becomes about grown man shit, because this really is a young man's game. But the OGs in the game, or at least know about the game, we are in an advisory capacity. So that means, you know, whatever me and your dad is going to do, we're going to do. But, you know, it'll be entertainment, or just like, hey, dog, check this out, or we might do something with it. But our dad, man, if you got 3 albums on Tidal, and, you know, you producing and you got lyrics, man, just, you know, follow that. Be hungry. You know what I mean? Where you can do anything with it. Because, you know what, man? Your dad knows this better than I do. Sometimes, man, you just got to truck over motherfuckers, man. I mean, really. Because if you're waiting for somebody to give you your opportunity, you're going to be waiting for a minute. It's just like, you know, going to the gym and, you know, like, I'm going to the gym and I want to go. No, I go to the gym because I know the end results of it. Right. So, Ade, you can't let nobody stand in your way, man. If this is what you feel in your heart and you're passionate about it, I mean, trust me, man, and your father alone, you have a force behind you, man. So you got everything that you need. You're gifted. You know, you are, you know, responsible. You're educated. You know, you're somebody that society probably will fear, but you know what you're doing, man. You really do. And whatever you don't know that you're doing, all you got to do is ask the big man right there.
I think that's the perfect way to end this, Joe.
Yes, sir. My girl's coming up right now, so.
Okay. Well, brother, you go handle that.
I will.
And appreciate the time.
It was good talking with you.
Fun. This has been fun.